I'm Shane.
I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back, everybody.
Here we are, episode 3, season
Season
2.
two.
Still going strong.
Trying to rock a new format here.
That's right.
Keep it more trim, more svelte.
Yes, and
Still keep those curves, though. You know what I'm saying?
a little bit of a different flow on things.
Yeah.
Again, not scene by scene. Sometimes you don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We're trying to not. It's probably a bit of a transition.
Yeah.
Again, 3 episodes in. I'm sure you guys noticed the first 2 were a little bit different.
Yeah,
4 rooms is
yeah.
4 rooms, though. It's a little hard.
We had to go. There's
I
like
mean,
4 different.
You got to set up the room, and it's pretty hard once you're setting it up that much to
Yeah.
not just kind of go like, this is the beats that are happening in it, right? Like,
You got to do it 4 times,
Yeah.
too. So it's like each time we got to reset it up.
Yeah.
I think we did good.
well, and the timing was
It was
good. It
still,
wasn't
like,
too long. It was
yeah.
like it was definitely nowhere near 3.
No.
So we did good for our runtime. I mean, I can't complain.
The only episode from this point forward that will ever be 3 hours is Lord of the Rings.
And it will
Whatever.
probably be released in 2 parts.
Yeah,
Right? Like
probably.
it'll be part 1, part 2. Like
Yeah.
even if it might be recorded in 1, but it will definitely be released in 2. Right? Like we're not going to force you to listen to
Yeah,
it at once unless you want to. So you guys already know, like we were saying, this is a different ball game. One of those big changes being no more socials in the beginning. So you're not going to be hearing us drop all those references and
Yep,
fun
you know
things.
where to find us. Don't forget, like, follow, subscribe, do all the stuff.
Yeah, do those things.
Do those things that make
It's all in the info, the description. But yeah, so those things are different to make sure that we were part of 3 hours was 25 minutes, 20 to 25 of us having fun through telling you the socials. Again, we had fun.
I had a great time.
We do understand how some people might not have enjoyed it as much.
One last hyphen dance.
Yeah. 20 minutes got to be a little excessive, probably.
It was a good run, though.
It was fun while it lasted. But we are now trying to do this better for the
More
viewers.
streamlined.
Yeah, so the fans might enjoy it a little bit more.
might
not
be like-
just us.
Like, guys, I like you, but it's been an hour and a half. I'm done. I got to go to work.
Yeah,
you know,
We're trying to make this better.
I've already cleaned my house. I got nothing left to do.
On that note, I think we can definitely just go ahead and transition off of that and get into it. So what beer are we doing this week?
We are doing Warped Wing Brewing Company's Gamma Bomb.
That's
which
right.
means you got to do the Hulk, right?
That we do. Which brings us to our movie. And we'll come back and say a couple things about this, but immediately we have to address the elephant in the room. You guys have seen the post already, because that's another
Yep,
one of those
that's another
changes.
thing we've already told you.
We've shown you. But we are doing the 2003 Hulk. We're not doing this isn't Ed Norton.
No.
Although we do love Tim Roth.
I do love Tim Roth.
We just did 4 Rooms, so we love him.
But Ed Norton kind of ruined that movie.
Yeah.
For me a
Well,
little
both
bit.
like on set too, right? Like
Yeah.
I've heard that he
I've
was
heard he
not
was
a
an
yeah,
asshole, so that kind of ruined him for other movies.
For me personally, yeah, because I don't know how he was on those either.
Yeah,
and I like
because
to-
it's like, oh,
Yeah, it is what it is.
we're
But
doing
that's
the
why
good one.
that's why we're not doing that one.
Yeah.
And MCU's never given us one.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
They've given us the Hulk, but
Hulk,
they've
but
not
we
given us.
never had his
We
own-
can't review a movie.
Why though?
I've got no answer for that. They've made him a big part of the MCU.
I know.
He's in
I
a
was
lot
like,
of the
I was
movies.
super happy
But
when
even
they brought
like
him
his
in.
run time, I think if you add it all up, isn't like close to a movie.
It's like 45 minutes. I think.
You know what I mean? Like
all
it's
together.
It's rough that he's getting the
And
treatment he is.
15 of it is the fight with Thor and the Iron Man.
Yeah, so we're doing. This is the Eric Bana one. Now, speaking of the MCU, though, I have to. The weird thing is that all of this is in the MCU.
It's
Kind
all
of.
canon, technically.
In a weird
Somehow.
way. Somehow.
Can we have like Battle of the Hulks? Can we get like Eric Bana, Ed Norton, and Mark Ruffalo all in one big schmaz?
I think we could do it if they did it by making it like an inner turmoil thing. Like they're different
Ooh.
personality traits of Bruce's,
That would be cool.
right? Like I think that would be the way we could see it, right?
Hey, cool. Yeah, we wrote the sequel, guys. We got this. Me and Shane figured it out. Disney, call us.
Now let's get back to the beer real quick. Gotta say, fresh out the can, it's good.
Yeah.
It says it's citrusy. Not.
I'm not getting the citrus.
I'm not. Again, this is us guys. We're not beer people, and it might be one of those. It's so subtle that we're not trained to
What would
taste
you-
it. Again, there's not saying anything bad against the beer. I
No,
like
I
it.
like it.
It's
It's just more bitter than citrusy. I'm getting kind of a resiny flavor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm taking
Yeah.
away from it.
Again, it says it's piney. It says it's got a resinous, a
resinous.
dry resinous quality. Or
I would have said resiny. It's a much nicer word. It's more fun.
So I mean, it's good. We'll see how we go from here. Beginning taste notes. I definitely like it. Before we go any further, obviously, we'll go ahead and talk about the people in the movie.
Cast of players.
The director.
The director.
I mean, for this one,
It's Ang Lee.
yeah. Well, you got to like when you. This is one of those ones where when you see the name on the poster, sometimes it will literally say Ang Lee's Hulk. You know, like it's important enough that sometimes it is part of the name.
Man, he definitely had a vision for this fucking movie, didn't he?
Yeah,
it's got a way more different feel than any other
superhero movie has. There's so much more. Again, like this is a psychological superhero movie. Like it's all about the inner conflict and turmoil. Yeah,
post-traumatic stress, repressed memories, all that good shit. And it's a deep superhero movie.
Ang Lee is that guy who at the time when this came out, everybody wanted to work with him.
Yeah.
Crouching Tiger
was huge.
It won tons of awards. People wanted to be there. And he's gone on to do other, Life of Pi, and I mean the guy
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, the guy does movies.
He does lots of movies.
But yeah, he is a world renowned.
Yeah.
And even at the time this came out was already there, right? Which is a perfect segue to the cast because most of them are literally only here because they wanted to work with Ang Lee. Like it was like that was like the thing. Like they were just like, I could take it or leave it.
I don't really understand the script.
And then they're like Ang Lee, and they're like,
oh yeah, oh fuck yeah,
sign me on. So
do I need to take a pay cut for that? I'll do it.
I feel like at least one or two of them might have even done that. Dude.
I'll work for scale,
right? I'd swear. So we'll start at the top. Obviously, our main star Eric Bana. This being a Bo movie, I'll let you go off. You got anything like what do you love about Eric Bana? This is your your Hulk.
I like him because he's he seems nerdy but in shape, right? Which is weird. It's like he's almost too in shape to be the scientist that he is.
I was gonna say that to you. Like to me, him as Bruce Banner is almost
like Olympic swimmer body.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah. He is svelte.
He's Phelps.
He is definitely very, very much built. Like like there are some scenes in this movie where like you see him pre-Hulk, like pre anything, and so he shouldn't have anything.
No, he's just like,
man,
you got some
totally Bruce Banner.
Like guns on him and shit.
When you see like the weird dream sequence thing from her, the flashback,
within a flashback.
He is cut when you see him like bend down to pick her up. You can see like the guns for a second.
That fucking like Frosty Freeze uniform.
Yeah, whatever
like
it was.
I don't know. Them shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, damn, dude, it's huge.
So one thing I'll give Mark Ruffalo's character, he's like,
he is built like what
I'm a scientist.
Yeah,
I look like a dad.
He looks like Banner.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Again, I don't have a problem with this.
No, not at all. I love Eric Bana. He was Hector in Troy. That was a great fucking movie. Played a fantastic heroin addict in that one episode of Tour of Duty. Good job.
I was going to say, I'm not real familiar with a lot of his work outside of the Hulk.
That's the earliest one I can remember. He just
not even early. I
think that show came out like early 90s or something.
I'm not a very knowledgeable. Most of again, you know me. I'm usually full of trivia and facts.
Yeah.
Eric Bana's not the guy. I don't really
didn't like his acting much.
It's not even that. I just never really caught me for the when I go on my weird trivia deep dive. I can't tell you what triggers them. It just kind of happens. Like anybody with like weird ADD type triggers like that. Yeah, like you don't know why it happens. You just get triggered on a deep dive.
Poor Eric.
He was never one of the people. I don't know why. Just never is.
It's that face. It's that goofy ass face.
Moving on from him though. We can hit our female co-lead, I guess.
Yeah, that works.
No, what it's the Hulk. Like, I mean, do we even really care about most of the other characters? It's not Bruce Banner slash.
No,
Well,
not really.
I guess before we move on, if we're going to say this, we should talk about the Hulk. The Hulk, though, is also played by not Eric Bana, right? I think we have to address that. Like, it's not one of those.
That's why he looks
things.
so weird when he's in the Hulk form.
Yeah, we are motion capping.
Yeah,
it is still like what you would expect. It's just
one
not
of the, like really early ones.
Yeah,
too.
it's just not motion capping.
Eric Bana. It's motion capturing Ang Lee.
Ang Lee.
So it has much wider face.
I guess if
than
that's
Eric
what you're
Bana
doing,
does.
though, who better to understand what you want from the monster than the guy himself?
I guess. But man, he made some facial choices.
He did. It was weird. Maybe he should have motion capped Eric Bana's face and then just his body for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, probably would have
been a better choice. Maybe
cost too much, I guess.
No, I would have been about the same.
You're doing it at the same fucking time. What are you talking about?
Probably. I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
I'm not that into the insider side of Hollywood. Yeah, so now I think we can move on to our next person.
Yep, to
Jennifer Connelly,
the lovely, talented, beautiful Jennifer Connelly, who we all had a crush on back in the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see the Labyrinth, and
you have to.
What are you gonna do?
And she's got the Bowie touch, like she touched Bowie, so it just makes her even cooler.
She hung out with the dude. But yeah, Jennifer Connelly is definitely one of those people. You know her.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know her from anything else, you know her from the Labyrinth. But again, I mean, I'm sure
she's been in all kinds of
a
stuff.
lot of stuff. She is big. She is here because of Ang Lee. She wanted to work.
We can say that literally about everybody on this cast
I mean,
list.
I probably will stop saying it because it's basically the case for all of these people.
It's okay, I'll keep saying it. I'll annoy people. It's fine.
I guess we're done with Jennifer.
Yeah,
I don't know if I have anything else to say
really
about
have anything.
her. I mean, she is playing Betty. I guess we should say that she's playing Betty Ross, not Betsy Ross. Make sure you understand this. We're not talking about the historical figure. We are talking about the comic book character who is named after the historical figure, but in a gentle nod. But it does make it very confusing. But we are talking about Betty.
Yeah,
Betty Ross.
Not Betsy Ross.
Daughter of...
No, it would be fucking funny, just one scene of her like doing needlepoint and it's a flag. Right?
Nice throwback to where her name was from. But that does give us a good segue for our next person, because she is playing Betty Ross, daughter of Thunderbolt Ross himself, General Ross.
Fucking hell of a name, man. Yeah.
It's a name that we don't really get in this movie. They only like gentle nod to
like
it. By
on
the
his
T-bolt.
Uniform it says T-Bolt.
And the helicopter.
Call sign on the chopper.
Yeah, so that he is played by none other than the Sam Elliott,
the legend,
the man, the myth,
the mustache,
Sam Elliott.
And this is the best mustache ever. I love this one.
He almost didn't have it for this one.
No,
Ang Lee had to convince him to keep it.
I completely agree with Ang Lee on that one.
He came in and he was like, well, I just figure military with the regulations they have, he wouldn't have had a mustache.
You're in general, you can have a mustache.
Well, and so, yeah, basically Ang Lee was just like, well, I don't even care about that. Like, but people want you.
Yeah, you're known for the stash. And I guess
have a mustache.
The compromise was he's like, well, like fine. I'm going to have the the regulated mustache
it's very
ever.
Clean.
Just,
I was going to say, it is so clean.
Precise.
Well, normally when you think
not like mine, not this shit.
Well, normally when you think of Sam Elliott, you think of like
big,
thick,
bushy mustache. Bushy, kind of over the lips and stuff. Food is getting stuck in that thing.
Like the Big Lebowski. I totally always think of his Big Lebowski character. Yeah. And then I would say our last person that we really even need to mention, right? Like we're our last big person, right? Nick Nolte.
Yes.
We all know Nick Nolte. We all got a different thing that we know him from, that we love him from. I love the 48 Hours
That's what movies. I was about to say. I was like, I love 48-hour movies.
You can't go wrong with Eddie Murphy, and then Nick Nolte is like the straight man.
The straight man.
So good.
That vein about to pop out of his skull.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
He's a great freak out.
Oh, yes. No, he knows how to, yeah. He knows how to like really explode on a person, right?
It's great.
And then this movie gives us a very different looking Nick Nolte too, right? You think of Nick Nolte, you think clean cut, you think like, again, no facial
looks like
hair.
A cop.
Yeah, no facial hair, right? Like in a short, like haircut.
You easily mistake him for a Fed.
Blonde hair. He's right. What's this brunette that he's rocking in this
grayish
weird
brunette?
Gray, I don't know. It's. I don't know. It's definitely not Nick Nolte.
No, he looks rough in this movie.
Which leads us to one of the best internet pictures
Ever?
ever from
You've seen
somebody's
it.
his
His
mugshot.
mugshot.
Yeah, his mug. It's the best mugshot of any celebrity in the world.
And you
He
would
looks
think,
wild
yeah, you would
and
think it's
nuts.
because he was just on a shit ton of drugs and off.
He was drunk.
Yeah.
It was a DUI, but he was definitely not as bad as the
Picture makes him look. It was
because it was
Ang
while he
Lee's-
was filming.
It was
this.
Ang Lee's fault.
He was literally in character and
That's so good.
had the crazy hair
It's
extensions.
all Ang Lee's fault why we have that awesome fucking picture.
Gotta love it.
And I do.
But yeah, like we said, that's really again main people. This is it. I will give him credit. It's not like a small cast, as in there are tons of background characters,
Yeah.
right? There are tons of military people fleshing out whole scenes, and
Other
this and that.
scientists.
But we don't really interact with them that much as
No.
as us. They
I
are
agree,
literally just
only
there.
like 3 or 4 other named characters.
Yeah, they are there to fill the world so it doesn't feel empty, but they are not there to be like real characters in the movie.
Remember how I like to say sometimes this could be a stage play?
Yeah.
This one cannot.
No,
There's
because
no
you need
way.
those other people.
You do.
You
Otherwise,
don't
it
need
just
them
feels
to
like
talk, but you need them there. Yeah, we do have a few cameos in the movie that I want to mention. Obviously, the big two, right? We've got Stanley.
yeah.
We have to mention that because this being a pre-MCU.
Yeah, this is one of the first ones.
There wasn't a standard yet for
Yeah.
it, right? There's only
It wasn't. We weren't watching the movies looking for him yet.
there had only been Spider-Man before this, as far as like, and it was again, that's not the MCU. This is
Nope,
this
that's just
is
Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire. We didn't even know there was going to be a second one.
My Spider-Man.
Our Spider-Man.
Our Spider-Man.
The millennial
the
Spider-Man.
good one.
Yeah.
Fight me.
But yeah, this was definitely at a time where we didn't know there were going to be more comic book movies. We just had that one. They were telling us about this one. I don't even know if they had already made announcements for whatever might have been after this. And there really weren't. It was these two and then nothing till Iron Man, which is like 5 years later. Like the MCU, there's always Punisher movies, but they're usually
they keep trying to do Punisher.
well, they're usually like straight to DVD and stuff. Like like so those don't count. But you know what I mean? Like DC still had some going, but theirs were getting over. There's like this is serious. There's went even
DC.
seriouser.
There's DC serious.
Yeah, right. Like I mean, so this is at a time where like this is the kind of era of comic book movies we could have had, right? This is like the split in the timeline.
The like psychological drama superhero movie.
Yeah, this being pre-MCU and pre-certain rules that they like to have, such as like nodding to previous people playing. Like the MCU never gave us a nod from Spider-Man to Spider-Man until they had a reason for those people to be in the movie as characters. Whereas in this one was like, hey, there's Stanley, which again, this is before there was a precedent, but who's with him?
Fucking Ferrigno.
Because we got to give nod to
the original
he's
Hulk.
And
dude, he's looking fucking huge.
Even then.
In that scene.
Even then. And that he was already way past needing to be that big.
He's bigger than he was when he was on the show.
Yeah, he's definitely they're both security guards.
Yeah,
right?
there's security at the Berkeley College, I think is where they're at.
But so yeah, it's great to see him because again, it's a legacy character. He's the first time one of like the first time that
it was
any
successful.
Marvel well, it might have been the first time any Marvel character had been on TV.
And was,
yeah, which means he's the first on screen ever. You know what I mean? Like,
I will accept that.
Certainly, he's certainly one of the first. You know what I mean?
The first good one.
Yeah.
Maybe Wonder Woman, but that's DC. Never mind.
Yeah, like I said, I think he might be the first Marvel on screen.
Sounds right to me.
But so, other than those two cameos, and again, those are literal cameos, right?
Yeah,
like,
they just walk. They just walk out
the
door.
Like bit parts, even these are just cameos.
Doesn't even say anything.
He might have one word, like he literally might say like something to Stan. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. But it's definitely not much.
Stan's always like, we need a tighten security. You got a place like this, you never know what'll happen.
The only other person that I even want to mention from the cast, it being one of those guys, maybe not for everybody, but certainly for me, because I love the show Lost, is we had Daniel Day Kim. It's the guy who plays Jin.
Jin from Lost. The
Lost it.
silent warrior monk guy.
Lost to me is just is one of those shows where like the show itself is those guys. Like everybody that's on it now, if
Yeah.
I see them, I have to be. I'm
Just
always
know
like,
you
I
see 'em
love
everywhere.
them. I'm like fucking Kate
It's John Locke.
Sawyer. Yeah, you know, like I have to. I always have. I'm always gonna give a shout out to any of our Lost cast people that I see. If I see them and I am aware of it, you'll probably hear me
Yeah.
make a reference to it. Well, that's all the information we really needed to worry about before getting into the movie. I think that's, you know, it's the people, it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's a lot of stuff that might
We can't have them without those people,
well,
right?
and it's a
There's
lot of
no
the
movie.
information that wrecks us off of off topic too far. Again, not that the things are different now, like we've already mentioned, so it's not like as important, but
Yeah.
it still feels like some of the stuff should just be. It's better to say it now than like halfway through forget and be like, oh yeah, Nick Nolte, the picture.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Fucking 45 minutes
Yeah.
from now.
It feels better to just say that in the beginning, real
Yeah.
quick, talking about everybody, than it does to randomly forget and be like, oh, I wanted to say that. But so going from there, the last thing I think is it's not like trivia. It does fit with our cast, but segues into how I like to talk about the
Fun
opening of the
fact,
show.
right?
Our sound. Who's our sound guy? Do you know? Who does the music?
The music? It's Danny Elfman.
You always talk about you love Elfman. That's why I was like,
love
that's why
Danny
I wanted
Elfman.
I wanted
It's so
you to say it
good.
because you love him.
It's so great. But I found this out today. Did you know that there wasn't a different track of music entirely before
Mhm.
the guy they had do it? He, like, I don't even remember his name. They fired him because it was all like techno Moby fucking shit throughout the entire movie.
So hackers.
Yeah, it was like that.
They
It
wanted
was-
the
yeah,
hacker.
they
That
wanted
guy
the
had the hacker
Hackers movie and
soundtrack
shit.
for fucking Hulk.
Like
Man.
you know the scene where Talbot gets his ass
Yes.
beat and thrown outside the fucking house and it looks like he's dead and Hulk goes bouncing away and it's all just silent and you just hear the boom in our version. In the original version it was like
The techno beat.
shit. It was just like Hulk is here and then bouncing
Cheesy.
away. I was
So-
like, I am so glad they fired
So
that
you're
guy.
telling me he was doing it like the Adam West Batman
Yeah, he was-
/ 70s Spider-Man.
Yeah, he
you know,
was
like
going
crazy
super cheesy with it, and Ang Lee was like, "Get the fuck out of here," and called his buddy Danny.
Yeah, then he said, "Let me call up a professional."
Yeah, let me get a real musician in here. Get your synthesizer out of here.
Well, he called the right guy.
Yeah, he did.
If you want something to have some feeling, some gravitas, you fucking
call
Elfman.
Danny Elfman.
The dude knows what he's doing.
And since him and Burton had heat at this point, he had time on his hands.
Well,
right?
and he didn't care to do a new superhero.
Right? He's like, hey, screw Burton. I'm gonna go do this one.
But yeah,
They're friends now, though. I think.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure they
yeah.
patched it up. Danny Elfman definitely kills it with the soundtrack, but that's the perfect way to open it up because you know me, the opening songs can definitely make or break a movie sometimes. And again, you can't go wrong with Elfman.
Yep.
This song definitely does it. It's got that slow build, that heavy beat.
in the background is just like creepy
That-
mad scientist music.
Well, it's both that and it's a reference to something that is said in the movie. It's remember when Bruce says he turns into the Hulk the first time? He said I could hear the heart, like I was born again the first time, and I could hear the heartbeat start. It's literally like his description of it. He makes sure to do his cheeks real big. Boom.
I like how he does that.
Yeah,
scene.
it's funny. But yeah, so this music definitely totally gives you that, you know, mystery
Right.
and like science.
Yeah, because
I don't know how Elfman does it, but it makes you feel science.
Yep,
and
you're like, I'm
feel
about to watch.
mysterious.
It's like I see, even without looking at the screen, just listening to the music, you're just like, I see test tubes,
Right,
and
you just
bubbling
know that's what's
water
going
and
on.
electricity and shit.
And that is
That's exactly what we
precisely
get.
what's-
Just a
it's-
montage of it.
The guy knows what he's doing. But yeah, we get this montage. We see some very specific things, though, right?
Yeah,
We need to address
but
this.
starfish getting cut up. This is all David Banner, right? The dad.
David Banner's doing these science
Back in the
experiments.
70s, he's working for the government doing all these experiments. He's cutting up starfish, and then like it grows another starfish.
A sea cucumber or something, like, you know, like
he's just torturing animals. It looks like for a little while.
Well, again, the main reason I want to bring these up is because this is one of those I guess I did have another fact, but this one makes more sense to tell you right now.
Yeah.
Ang Lee's wife is like a microbiologist. Like this science
Oh,
is
nice.
real.
So like all the like notes and shit that they flash
This
across
is
the
all
screen,
based on like some real
all the
stuff.
math and data.
I don't
and
know about
shit
all that for sure, but I definitely know like the idea of like what's going on with him and like
is
the
real.
genetics of these different organisms.
Think she
and
was
things.
on set like schooling him on how to like use the equipment and shit?
I don't think it was that far, but she was definitely the one who helped write some of that.
Yeah.
Like made sure the science was a little bit more on
I
par.
now want to think that she's the one who wrote the notebooks.
I don't know. That'd be
Right?
cool
That would,
if
wouldn't it? That'd
it's
be
that in
dope.
depth. Like sometimes
Comes
they
home,
do
he's
that.
like, "Honey, you're a microbiologist. Write me some bullshit scientific notes in these notepads for me."
But yeah, we see that this is like you said. This is David Banner in the 70s. This is not Bruce, and I could understand certainly in 2000, like by today's standards, if you're watching this, you're so far separated from the
TV
70s
show,
Hulk
yeah.
that you probably don't get the reference. But in 2003, the viewing audience, like
was
we
still
were
on TV.
teenagers, so our parents taking us and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I went and saw this movie
They
because of the
saw
TV
it
show.
and they remembered that one. And so they're seeing it at the time. These references were there.
Yeah, it was for them.
Well, from the out
He's
the
even,
gate,
like dressed like
he's dressed like
the same character.
it is literally like the same character, because that's why I want to make sure people know in the 70s TV show he was not Bruce.
Oh yeah, he was David Banner on the
He's
TV
David.
show.
And so literally everything about this intro could just be
The 70s
TV show.
The 70s TV show.
We are literally watching the TV show continuation.
Yeah, this is what happened after the last episode. The government picked him up and then he got him a wife and shit.
We see as we go along that it's a lot more like this is the alternate universe.
Yeah,
because
see
things
that.
are different. But the beginning would totally have you believe.
It
like
would.
everything
Even
in
the
beginning.
costume, you're like, he's wearing the exact
The
same fucking
clothes
shirt.
The clothes look very much. Yeah, the one checkered
The
stripe
checkered
thing.
striped shirt.
Yeah, that is totally 100%. That is a David Banner from the 70s original outfit. But even beyond
Same
that,
car, even I think the car he comes right when he comes racing home.
the
and
way
shit,
it's
I think
shot,
it's the same car.
the way it's shot, it both has the grainy film texture, but that's just because they want it to be the 70s.
Yeah, it's old.
But it is like
Yeah,
the
it is
show
like the
because of
show.
that. But even further than that, like just the way they did like because later on they make the panels feel like comic book panels,
Yeah,
right?
with the
Well, this
transitions
time,
and
like
shit.
at this part of the movie, there's some paneling, but it feels different, right? It doesn't feel like comic book per se.
No, it feels like the old.
It's
show.
like the old
it's,
show.
like
you get like the
Batman,
circle in
and
the
you get
middle, and
into-
it pulls out 4 frames to the outside.
Yeah.
Those are strictly from like that's how the Hulk used to. I feel like the intro even did that, like pulled
I
to
feel
a
like it did
circle,
too, right?
Right. It's so much referencing in the
The show
opening
back
to
in the
this
day.
to the original Hulk. Again, I love to see it because again, the MCU is good for a lot of stuff. Throwback references to inside to outside the MCU itself. Not so much.
No, they don't like to really do that, do they?
No, they're trying to because and it makes sense. They are trying
They
to
have their
forge.
own
They're
shit
trying to
going
forge their own way. At the same time, when you're a fan of this stuff, you like to see it. You don't want it to be
you
so.
pop for Ferrigno when
Yes,
you see.
you don't want to. You don't want to be the kind of person who has to like devour a scene frame by frame to try to find the reference, and that's how the MCU kind of treats a lot of them, right? Like you want it to be the thing they just say out loud, and you get to be
It's
like,
oh look, if you
"Oh,
notice in that
I know that guy."
explosion, there was a C-3PO or something
Yes.
head flying past
that's what you
for
want.
no reason.
And so this movie shovels it to you for sure.
Here you go. Do you remember the show? First
But
10 minutes, just a
And
love
like
letter.
I said, it's in the perfect way too, because like if you're a modern fan, certainly today, if you are a Gen Z fan going in, you don't even know that you're being introduced to this
that
stuff.
makes me sad. That's right. They don't.
Yeah, they've definitely. I mean, when was the last time
They're
you saw
missing
the
out.
Incredible Hulk on TV, like the old Ferrigno? Like when we were, you take it for
when I was
granted.
in high school,
you take it for
right?
granted that when we were kids, it was still on syndication, all over the place.
Seek it out. It's good. I'm pretty sure it's free on Tubi.
Oh, it was and they introduced they did a lot of stuff before other places. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Go watch the movie with Thor. That one's real fucking funny.
There's it is because their interpretation of Thor was he looks
way more comic book.
No, he acts like the comic book, but his look is like straight up
looks like a Valkyrie. He's got the winged hat.
Well, his look is minus the hat though, is straight up just like fucking Viking though. Like because he's wearing the furs and shit
Oh
in the
yeah,
70s. He's not wearing, he's not wearing the
cool
red.
armor.
It's
and
not
the
red
cape
cape
and
with
shit.
like silver ball.
No,
things.
he's got skins.
No, he looks.
And,
That's
like,
what I was getting at.
fur boots.
He looks like he is straight up from mythology, not from the
He
comics.
looks like he just came back from a bear hunt.
Yeah, he looks like this is straight up the Norse one,
Yeah.
not the comic book one. That's what I think is great about it. He acts very comic book
It was a
like.
cheaper costume. All they had to do
Oh,
was
it
go
was
grab some.
100%
Like, here you go.
costume. They just grabbed stuff that was already existing.
Hey, there's a bearskin rug in here. They can use that as a cape.
Hey, works. If it works, go with it.
And we only got $30,000 to do this entire movie with. Of course, that's what we're doing.
During all of this beginning opening of the movie, like we've said,
Yeah.
it's very 70s. We see a lot of crazy stuff going on. It really does. It sets up a lot of things for us, right? Like we see the experiments. We see that David gives himself the injections.
Yeah, because the government's like
they're shutting the program
General
down.
Ross, his early self is like you can't do that.
Pre-mustache.
Pre-mustache even. He's like, you can't do that. We can't authorize human testing. So David's just like, fuck you, I'll do it myself, and goes just injects his serum into him.
His wife gets pregnant
Immediately after, so he's like, oh shit, did I give it to the
Well, he says
kid?
at first, he even says at first, curiosity. At first he was like, sweet.
Maybe I did.
I learned something.
This fun experiment. Push the kid over, take his pacifier, see what happens. That pissed me off. It's like his first scene where he's like, the moms are all outside and he's just
it was
playing
the
with the baby, and he's just like, I wonder if I can piss the baby off.
It was the 70s. That's still pretty meager compared to what science could have been.
Yeah, I guess. But the baby
he just pushed him.
Baby's leg kind of turns a green color when it gets mad.
So he knows things are.
He's like, oh, I did
good,
definitely
right?
do something.
This is where we start to see some of the changes, though, right? Like after that, right?
Yeah.
He sees that things are like that. We still get this very 70s vibe, very much like the TV show throwback. He goes to his lab. He gets told we're shutting it down.
We saw
and he hulks out.
We found your blood DNA. It's human. We told you not to do that.
But so he hulks out.
Thing. Oh yeah, dude. I thought he was gonna fucking kill the guy. That look.
Well, and they when I say Hulk out, I mean it. Like the back shot of his head, is literally back to that whole original Incredible Hulk TV show. It looks like what the bad wig on Ferrigno looked like. Was. Like it's that very straight hair.
For the shirt to rip.
Yes,
right.
That's when they had him. Did you notice?
Yeah,
like he kind of hunches himself for a second, and it kind of gives you that. You're like, is it?
His shit's unstable though. He's missing some stuff.
He's missing a lot of stuff right now. That's what I was just about to get to. So in this version, he never gets... if we were going to say this was the 70s and it took a split, the first split is that he's not there when the gamma explosion happens.
Yeah, that he said.
It's not a bomb.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about whether it's a bomb or not. It's because they're also doing science about gamma rays something here.
Or something. So he blows up the whole base.
Reactor. It's like some kind of reactor.
Yeah. Why he have a key to that?
2 keys. He stole someone's.
Did he knock out Ross and we just didn't get to see it?
Maybe. But so he uses the keys, he turns this thing, and he sets off this what is a reaction of events.
A gamma reaction.
And so for him to have stayed in line with the real 70s show, he would have had to have been exposed to the gamma rays.
Yeah.
He was not, right? We see he leaves.
He goes home to his
wife
and kid.
And for what we assume is going to be decent things. And again, we as viewers also think this is when he turns into the monster.
Yeah, because
we think
they go
that
in
he
the
does
room and he's all yelling and stuff, and then
we see the weird
weird
hyperlapse footage of the animals.
Yeah, because Bruce is playing with his dolls and stuff, and it starts going like really fucking fast, and then it turns around and the door opens.
Monster.
And you see like the silhouette of a monster, but
you hear it.
Yeah, but it's just Bruce having a nightmare because it cuts to him like when he's in college.
Well, I think the first one was high school.
Was it high school?
Maybe. They do that scene so weird.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like it's 2 different days, the way the length of the scene plays out. But since they're using the same actor for young Banner at that point, I can't tell for sure.
Seems like it's like the next morning. He had the nightmare, next day waking up to go to college.
but that also plays the conversation feels weird that she had with him the night before for that to be the night before
Yeah, it does,
college.
doesn't
That's
it?
that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like they left it too
So do you think it
ambiguous.
was like a reshoot? Like they went
I don't
back and added the scene
to
in
try to get some
later
more something
to,
in.
you know,
I don't know.
to be like, well, he got adopted, you know?
Yeah, but they still don't ever
Yeah, they
outright
don't
say
really
it.
out like say that, do they?
Not for a long time. In the beginning, the only way you can tell is if you're the kind of person who pays enough
Pays
attention.
enough attention.
And I'm not gonna lie,
I'm
I
not that no.
I didn't notice until the very last viewing where I kept thinking like,
That was
oh,
his mom, right?
or I kept at least being like, how was I supposed to not know?
That
Right?
wasn't his
Yeah,
mom.
they didn't give me enough information. But then this last time, I was looking to see. I was like,
Really paying
maybe I'm
attention this
stupid,
time.
right? I was
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I missed
It's
something.
usually my go-to is like, I'm probably the dumb one here.
I'm the dumb one.
Yeah.
So the original mom is like a brunette with brown eyes, and the mom that he wakes up to from the bad dream and going to college scenes, blonde hair and blue eyes.
I missed it too. Don't feel bad. I
I
had the same
know.
exact fucking problem.
I know.
It's just I hate myself.
I hate that it took me so many times of watching the movie to
Right.
get it right.
It's like it shouldn't take that much to notice somebody isn't brunette, right?
Shouldn't.
Blonde's a very different color. Maybe if they're like kind of a dull red, you're like it's kind of brown. I could make that mistake. Coppery colored.
The last thing we saw from the dream that woke him up into seeing this
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 blonde
other
lady.
mom was the gamma explosion. I want to stress explosion. It's not a gamma bomb because that was one of the altar points, right?
Yep.
It just wasn't an important one. I wouldn't have cared how we got the gamma rays in as long as we got them, right?
This isn't David's story.
But yeah,
This is Bruce's
exactly.
story.
So that's why we get some differences here. But yeah, so then Bruce wakes up, goes off to college. Now we get real quick, like he ages
it
up. He's
immediately
done,
just
right?
next
Like,
scene, it's Eric Bana going to work.
Well, and it's Eric Bana going to work, and you can already kind of like they try to hide it well, right?
Yeah.
They try to put him in some clothes where you can't
Where
tell.
you can't tell that he's in as good a shape as he is.
But then he stands next to the other actor, the
other
dorky guy he's supposed to
what's
work
his
with.
name? Harper.
Yeah, Harper, who in the comic books would have been a different character. Rick Jones.
Yeah, Rick Jones.
He would have been
That's the guy he saves from the gamma
yep,
reaction.
who also gets
I was gonna say,
powers.
doesn't he get his own fucking comics later?
So it would have been a cool reference for a movie that does really good with some references. I feel like that was a missed opportunity
it really
because it wouldn't have
was.
mattered. It would have a throwaway moment, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you see him stand next to that guy, and you are kind of like, this dude's
you whip that motherfucker's
he's
ass. Look
big.
how you strong.
Well, then he
son
he
bitch.
rolls up making fun of him.
Yeah,
You're like, this is never
Oh.
how it would happen.
He's because his girlfriend broke up with him. The
Betty
Jennifer
again. It's
Betty
just,
broke
yeah,
up with him.
Jennifer
And he's
Connelly.
making
Set
fun
it
of
up
him.
for us.
Oh, were you wearing the stupid bike helmet when she broke up with you? I mean, you're kind of giving us a bad name even amongst us nerds here. It's like, well, what the fuck?
Well, and it's so crazy that that's even a topic of conversation because
They
as
opened with it. Didn't even say hi.
well, and as the movie slowly sets up for us, it's not like this breakup is recent
Yeah, it's been a couple years, it seems
or
like.
something. It's weird.
Long enough for them to be okay working in the same place
Well,
together.
and them to have acknowledged that it was weird when they got the positions, like because
Yeah.
that's the very next thing that fucking Bana says to Connolly Ross is
Banner
that
Ross.
right?
Yeah.
Is he literally is like all these people just couldn't get over the fact that we had this past before we started
Yeah.
working together, implying the breakup had happened before whenever this project, and this project is pretty
been going,
fucking
yeah,
far
they're pretty
in.
far along at
They're
this
almost
point.
finished with this merging of 3 different scientific fields, right? Because
Right.
we got like nanotech, we got some kind of biology going on. There's obviously
Radiation
medicine.
shit,
There's
yeah.
actual medicine that's happening here.
Because they have little medical nanobots that stitch you back
So
together.
one can assume they've been working on this project
For at
since
least a couple
graduating
years.
college,
Yeah,
right? Like
like-
literally, this is
yeah.
like whatever they did as their thesis in college got them this job.
Right, let's be super nice. Let's say they graduated college when they were like, what, 25? So it'd put them in
8
about
years, something
so
like
put
that.
them about 34.
Yeah, so
right
like
now.
8,
So like
8, 9
years they've been working on this. They dated 5 years ago. It's been 3 years since they broke up, but nobody will let it go.
It's very
She
strange.
kind of won't let it go either.
They both kind of won't let it go.
Like,
either.
like even later on, after the experiment fucking fails,
I felt like they could have done this and not made her the comic book girlfriend, and I'd have felt way better about it.
yeah,
But I
she
felt
doesn't
like
have a whole lot to do.
they felt well. It's because they wanted Ross, dude. They wanted. And so they were like, let's make sure that we've got the daughter.
Yeah.
Since that is a well-known girlfriend. But I really feel like we could have not had the daughter connection, just let General Ross be General Ross, right?
Yeah, probably would have been fine.
Would have been way better here. Because I feel like the way they kept trying to hammer fist this previous relationship plus this, because we didn't need the relationship. It could have just been his lab assistant.
Yeah, she could have just worked at the lab with him.
Because even the scenes later in the movie where it's supposed to be dependent upon the fact that they had this relationship, it doesn't matter because like all trust is blown between the two by that point, right?
Right.
Like, and she uses more of her, like she's like, let me use the fact that I also know some psychiatry
Right,
to
like,
help you through
It's
this.
like I know him pretty good. I know he's fucked up. I can use my psychology
But she
degree
doesn't
to help.
use personal stuff to do it. She only uses
'cause she goes at it
medical
from the
science. Yeah, yeah.
scientist.
So you get what I mean? Like we didn't need her to be better.
She even says that at some point. She's like, "I'm a scientist. I can help."
Yeah, they tried to shoehorn it in too hard.
Yeah, a little bit.
Especially with how many times they kept bringing up the like. Yeah, I mean
Remember
we've not
we
been
used to
together. Yeah, yeah.
Remember?
It was a long time
was a
ago.
while ago.
It's not now. We're not.
But we're
there.
gonna keep talking about it.
I'm still gonna get upset when other dudes talk to you, like Glenn.
And she's gonna get upset when he doesn't emote.
Right?
Oh, you're so emotionally distant. Why don't you want to know what happened to your parents? It's like, because they're dead, and I had nice adopted parents, and I'm a successful scientist. Why the fuck would I try to dwell on bad shit like that? The relationship shit could have just not been in this movie. Would have saved us 30 minutes.
But so then we get to see an example of the tests that they're doing.
The experiment.
Right? The experiment on the frog. Yeah,
I love this.
This was all fake. Do you know this?
Yeah, it's all.
They tried it with a real frog.
Oh,
not the.
Oh, okay.
Not actually hurting it, dude.
I was like, they did not explode a real frog.
They would never. But I just mean like all of it, like the part where it's just in there, like riveting and breathing,
riveting and shit.
Didn't nobody like the footage of the real frog sitting there?
Did the real frog look fake?
Yeah, didn't move enough.
Isn't that funny how that works sometimes?
Right. So they did the old school.
Hey man, I like it. It's an awesome.
They put the little air pump in it and just squeezed it so that way it would go. Like the thing would expand. Yeah,
it's a pretty good animatronic frog.
I'm not gonna lie,
and it exploded fantastically
because we see it's missing something for what could be the Hulk process.
Yeah,
right?
The nanites won't stop.
Nanomeds.
Nanites are from Stargate. I'm sorry.
Nanomeds.
They don't know when to stop. They just keep regenerating tissue until you explode.
Well, and they start regenerating the wrong tissue. It looks like,
it's
right?
like once they fix the wound, it's just like, okay, go fix other things.
But there's nothing that needs fixed.
So they just keep building and building until
or
the frog,
something. Yeah, because it starts getting weird. Well, because it's
weird.
There's cysts. Yeah,
it
exactly.
Starts coming out of
it's
it.
Like cancerous or something. Like it starts making bad cells at some point. I think
cancer's a good analogy.
It's what I think it is. Yeah. Because again, it's just like the body doesn't know what to do. Those things don't know what to do because they fixed all problems, and so it's just like, well, we still have to do something.
Yeah, we don't have an off switch once we're done doing something.
But so it's made again. It's just to give us the glimpse of what they're doing,
trying to do,
to see how the process works, to hear that they're working with gamma radiation. Right? Like it is part. I think
that's where the nanomeds get their power from. You hit them with the gamma radiation, it activates them.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, science.
But as soon as we leave the room and see the failed mission,
they're just sad, drinking beer in their office. Like, well, what do we tell the board now? You think if we have a plague of frogs, we got a real good way to get fucking rid of them.
I love that. I love that she said that, and he tried to call her out on it. Like, I think how many beers have you had? You might have had
one.
Too much. Yeah,
bullshit.
He was trying to be like, you've had too much with that kind of crazy,
right.
That kind of crazy talk. And then we see her leave the facility, right? And she bumps into the janitor as she's walking out.
Yeah.
What happened to Benny? Barry? I didn't catch it.
Where's Benny? Benny's dead.
It's again, Nolte. This is one of those things where it's like, You know that voice, that gravelly fucking
Yeah.
voice. Unless you have never seen him in something,
I find that hard to believe.
I do too, then there's no way you didn't know that's him. Now, that doesn't mean anything because unless you read like something about the movie before going into it, you don't know he's playing.
Or you just hate him. You're like, oh, fuck Nick Nolte. I'm not
Well,
watching that
again, I
movie.
just mean like it's not giving away anything in the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like, unless you read the biopsy, unless you knew that he was playing David Banner, knowing that
That would ruin it.
That's what I'm saying. So hearing the voice doesn't give away anything other than it's Nick Nolte unless you've already read who his character is.
Somebody
right?
leaked that to you.
But hearing that voice definitely lets you know that he's not some stand-in. He's not some casual guy.
Random ass dude.
Yeah. This is a character you're going to see again because that's Nick Nolte.
And he definitely killed Benny. That's what I took from it.
I don't know.
Benny's dead. I feel like he killed Benny so he could have his job.
It's certainly a possibility.
That's what it seems like.
Because we know that he wanted the position.
Yeah, he needed to be in that
Yeah.
place.
He'd already pieced the information together.
My son is here.
The creepy stuff.
So now I will murder this poor old janitor and take his job so I can be close to him.
His hair right now is so disheveled. It literally almost has that look I was telling you about. That weird bad wig look from the 70s.
Nope, that's his real hair though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They stylized it to where it's got that kind of look. It's got that look
Ang
like
Lee's
that.
just back here in the makeup trailer, just being like, I want it to look as fake as possible. I want it to look like a wig.
This is also, I do believe, the part of the movie where we finally start to get some of the cool comic book transition shots.
Yeah, with the
this is officially
blocks and
paneling and stuff like that.
Yeah, paneling. That's the word I was looking
because
for.
we're finally at a part where it's feeling like we're getting there, right? Like, because everything else before this has been very much like
actual movie.
Well, and it's not even like setup, right? Like, right,
we're taking it very seriously.
It's the way back story. It's not the setup to the Hulk yet.
Yep. Now we're starting
now
to
getting to the setup of the Hulk. So now we get the panels. Now we get we're in the comic book. Before we were kind of like, no. This is like pre-comic. This is like their world. This is the people that came before.
Reality.
Yeah.
We haven't entered the fun, wacky
world
yet.
Now we are officially about to start getting to the things that are going to make this the comic book world.
This is the point where we leave them from their drunken pursuits, but we go back to see Bruce lamenting their lost relationship, right?
He looks at a picture and then it comes to life,
and we slowly then transition into that moment,
picture,
which was a cool way to do
the
nice
flashback. Transition.
But that was immediately thrown in the garbage by the fact that less than 30 seconds into this flashback,
we get a dream sequence flashback
that starts off as just a like we're literally like,
because she literally says, she's like, well, it starts as a memory of when I was a kid.
Yeah, and so it's like, why did we have to flash back to the moment? Couldn't we have just like?
I feel like this
couldn't we have just like had them talk about?
Yeah,
this
could have been discussed while they were sitting there like drinking
with each other
and shit, right?
Yeah, right. They were drunk and then talked about this.
Yeah, because she brought up his fucking mom and dad during that scene.
But no, we had to see it all by flashback
through Eric Bana.
Yeah,
and get her flashback through him.
Yeah, and it doesn't even really give us much, right? Like, it gives us that she was on the military base, but this is before he knows that about himself.
Yeah, it's just for us, the audience,
to be like,
oh, they grew up on the same spot.
Even though, again, if we were paying attention and we know that they were setting her up to be Betty Ross,
and she even says something about calling her dad and shit,
we would know, right? We would already know.
Yeah, we didn't need this.
It was, again, I like this. This is a great Hulk movie.
Shit, but there's some stuff where it's like, we didn't need this.
There's a few times where they probably, they could have made some other decisions, and this is definitely one of them. During this, though, she has, like we said, it transitions from a flashback to a dream. Again, in her head, it's all the same.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really know when one turns into the other than the fact everyone disappears,
and it's just Eric Bana there picking her up. It's
a little Bruce girl. As an adult picking her up as a child, and then I don't even understand what that would mean from a dream analysis purpose. But that is weird stuff, right?
We have to get Freud on that one.
It can't be good. No, whatever it is, whatever that implies about things in your relationship.
Weird dreams of me murdering you as a child, like. you shouldn't be dating me then if you're having those thoughts.
This is when after that, right? He wakes up from his dream, his daydream, but at night, his desk dream. I don't know what you want to call it.
So it started as a flashback. It went from a flashback to a flashback, and then to a dream sequence of another person having a dream about the dream.
Yes.
Okay, I was making sure I could follow all that.
Well, and then he wakes up to immediately see the weird ass dogs outside with the guy with Nolte.
Yeah.
But he focuses more on the dogs than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Like if I look out my window,
gone.
yeah. If I look out my window and I see 3 dogs, but then a dude with 3 dogs, I'm focused on the dude. The dogs are weird.
Dogs are weird, but the dude is what I'm concerned about.
Because again, all we can see is the shadow, but then like the glint of the glasses reflecting in the light.
Wild hair.
The guy is the scariest part. The glowing glasses.
Yeah, you can see the silhouette of like the wild ass Einstein hair he's got.
That would be the thing that I would focus on.
I'd be like, I'm calling the police now. But no, he looks away for a second and goes back, and they're gone.
No more.
Because Nolte has to go raid the lab for hair. That's all he takes, really, is some hair samples.
Yeah.
So you can go make sure it's actually Bruce Banner.
I feel like he already...
Yeah, he had to have already known, but I guess he had to prove it.
Yeah.
The DNA can't lie. One of those things.
The next day is when we finally see Glenn for the first time.
Yeah, because he wants to take over his experiments and move him
Glenn, who
Atheon, right? That's the company he works for.
I think it was It's something like
that.
It's
starts
close
with an
enough.
A.
Yeah. I'm very confused as to what his relationship with everybody is, because he implies he's known her since college, but it seemed like those two dated in college, but Bruce doesn't seem to know who Glenn is beyond recent year. I don't know.
I don't either.
It seemed very awkward.
This is part of on base together when she moved from the desert.
Well, that's what they imply that they knew each other from a base, but again, we don't know if it's grown up. We don't know what it is.
They went to high school.
Yeah,
together.
something. It's again, this is part of why I wish they didn't focus on making her Betty. And this is just one of those things pre-MCU, they didn't know how to go about doing this. You know, like once we got to the MCU, they realized like, hey, we don't have to have the relationship be the big one right away. We can either not worry about it or just know we're going to build up to it.
Yeah, we can tease her in the first movie.
They weren't ready for that, and so they thought they had to ham-fist the person we know.
Yeah.
I think they could have gotten away with it.
And again, just being like the assistant.
It would have made this scene better too. If we weren't worried about how the relationships panned out right here, I would have felt way better about Glenn showing up.
Yeah.
And being Glenn. Because again, the fact that he likes Betty, they try to play up, but it really has almost no impact on him being the antagonist that he is later, has very little to do with that. He uses it to make try to make Bruce mad
off.
But even that didn't work, so that's not what makes him the antagonist, right? Like,
no, what makes him the antagonist is that goddamn cattle prod he fucking takes to him.
Well, and the fact that he is running that experiment and all this, like,
goes around the general's back. All this other shit.
None of that has anything to do with Betty. All of that is literally just he's the guy running the program. He's the guy that got cut out of the program. You know what I mean? Like,
we cut Betty out completely, and we replace him with Rick Jones, the guy he was supposed to. Yeah.
I think that would have worked better. Well, because again, like this, it just seems
bestie,
right? It seems just so hand-fisted.
Yeah,
getting her here.
We got to have a love interest.
Well, and they don't even really play her like.
I know
they don't even really play her like that for most of the movie, though, right?
No, not till like the very.
Well, and by that point.
When she's all like, she's even then she's still kind of done with him.
He shouldn't be trusted. Well, and he should be done with her.
Yeah,
because goddamn, we've not got to it yet. But literally right now, basically, she's about to start making decision after decision where it's just like, fuck what the word trust might mean, right? Like, I mean, it's just like crazy the shit that she does. This is when we finally have our lab experiment gone bad. This, like I said, we started getting our paneling a couple of scenes ago because it's when we officially hit comic book world. If we're officially in comic book world, what's the first thing we need to see? We need to see Bruce
turn in. Yeah, we need to see the accident.
Yeah, right? At least the accident. We don't need to see him be the Hulk, but we need to know that he's set up to be the Hulk, right?
It doesn't work without this.
And so that's what we finally have, right? They're doing the experiment again.
Harper's in there working on the machinery and shit. trips a wire or something.
Does something.
Does something stupid.
Causes the nanomeds to open, but then Bruce runs up in time to make he
gets
he's
the
there when the
mask
gas
on him.
yeah the puff still hits him, and he's not able to stop the machine.
They can't stop it. So
the problem is that it's that they can't start it really, right? Like, well, it's a double. It's that because their gamma thing is like a ball, right?
Yeah,
for lack of a better
it's a giant
term,
ball reactor
that closes and shoots the radiation from every angle.
Yeah,
and so the problem they're having is that it's kicking on while open. So they have a dual problem here. They want it to not work or be closed.
right?
And it won't do either of those things. It will not stop and it will not close. So Bruce throws, what's his name?
Harper.
Dude, like they say it once. I'm so proud of you for knowing that.
It's because
That's normally
I like the name. I was like,
that's normally a me thing to be like this guy who's not important at all. His name, yeah, Harper. Because to me, it's always I'm just like he should be Rick Jones.
He really should.
Because this would be the Rick Jones.
Yeah,
moment.
in the comic
throw him out of the way, stand in front of the radiation.
In front of the thing.
He literally stands in front of it and just drapes his arms across it.
Yeah. Not nearly enough of you, man.
Well, not only is it not enough, especially for, again, like I was already saying, this is a ball that was shooting radiation from every angle, right? And we all understand rays and the way gamma rays work. It's kind of like a sound wave almost, really. Bounces off of things.
Mm-hmm.
This is bouncing off the walls. Poor fucking
Harper dies.
I mean,
he dies.
Real
life, he's gone. He's cooked.
Slow and steady.
He'll die. Yeah, he'll probably take longer to die.
Poisoning. Yeah,
he was a little further away, so
he was further away.
Extra week.
He was getting the bounced off radiation. He was not getting the full isotopes. But yeah, like
bought him an extra week, right?
To me, I was like, this is why we shouldn't have made it a ball, right? Like,
yeah, it should have just been like one.
It should have been a ray gun.
Yeah,
like
50 style with the big balls on it. Oh, it would have been awesome.
But no, the ball is here. He drapes himself across it. Like I said, again, like you said, it's not enough, but it's literally so much not enough that as he does it, you can see the lines of Harper exposed places. You see Harper through the lines. That's what's crazy.
Like you're not really covering nobody, man.
Yeah, you're just like, that's not.
I appreciate the heroics, but
that's not how science works.
No,
he would be gone.
At that range, the gamma rays are just gonna go right through you into him. You're squishy.
And we see he is okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
Right? Oh,
has a little bit of a mind trip before he wakes up.
Well, also we have to mention, we almost forgot, it's our last nod to the 70s. Because it goes 70s vision again when he gets radio, when he gets blasted by the gamma rays, right?
It's almost got the weird like
yeah. And so again,
from the show,
we have to mention the last one because after this point forward, they are officially setting their own tone.
Yep,
no more throwback references, no more nods, no more. I mean, it is officially
we're done.
We are in our Hulk now, right?
Ang Lee's just there. He's filmed that last scene. He's like, okay, checklist. We're done. No more references.
We got it. Good. Moving on. So like
fan service done.
Yeah. Now we see the things that are a little bit different. Like we said, he woke up. He's fine.
His good knee is now his bad. His bad knee is now his good knee. Fuck! I wish that would happen to me.
He is totally healed, better than before.
Yep.
Again, this isn't even one of those things where it's like what the experiment the experiment they've been doing would have said if he had got hurt in the accident that would heal, right?
Yep. This just fixed everything that's ever happened to him.
He's now in peak physical condition. Noted, as I've already said, Eric Bana already looked in peak physical condition. This is not what did it.
To be fair, you don't really ever see him in like
this
t-shirt
is the first time,
up to this point.
He's in the bed and you see like you're like, God damn, he's cut.
Yeah,
but then he immediately is like, it's because of the gamma rays.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Again, this is like we said, this is known to us, not known to anybody else in the movie yet, but he is like this, unlike his dad, for maybe multiple reasons, right? His dad has whatever he did to himself.
Yeah, whatever weird serum.
But whatever happened to him is still going to be different because his is gone through a generation, right? So it's just different.
It got filtered.
But then on top of that, we have now the gamma exposure, which his dad never had. His dad did cause a gamma explosion,
but they were really far away.
He was too far away for that. So he never had that. So we got another factor here. And then on top of all that, we have the nanomeds.
Little robots constantly trying to fix
factors
shit.
in this in trying to explain why he is this way. I only want to point this out because from this point on, the dad acts like he knew
Think this was gonna happen.
that this was the potential that would get unlocked, and he even made it seem like he knew the gamma stuff was what would do it.
Yeah.
But again, that's not true here.
It's not even.
It's so not true that even when the dad goes to do it to himself,
Yeah, he doesn't.
he exposes
Fucking-
himself to
yeah.
the nanomeds.
He says at some one point, he's just like, "That was your experiments were the key. I didn't think of the radiation or something like
Right,
that." And I'm
and
like, then how come you act like you like from the day he was
He
two?
acted
From the
like
day
this-
you popped his pacifier out
This
of his
is what was
mouth
gonna
and
happen.
pushed him over, you thought like, "Oh,
Well-
I've created this mega monster."
Well, and again, flip sides, right? Like he keeps going back and forth. Like, should this monster live? Should we research it more? Should I become this monster?
should I have just killed it?
So many things. He can't figure out what he wants to be, do, or how to be. I don't know.
He's totally sane though.
Of
He
course.
tells us that here in a second when he pops into the
In the
into the-
middle of the night,
just
over
ran-
top of the bed, man
just
looks
hovering.
looks supernaturally hovering
Just
over
like,
top of him,
"Hi, Bruce.
and he's
I am your dad."
exactly. He immediately like no talk, no like, hey, I've been watching you from afar.
Doesn't even
None
say
of that.
dad. He's just like, "You're my flesh and blood."
And
it's
Bruce is like-
"Okay, crazy man."
And then and all he comes back with is like, sure, you've sensed it. And dude, it's literally like, it's the first time he's laid eyes on you.
Right?
He fell out drunk the night before whenever she met him in the hallway.
Yeah.
Literally.
He hasn't seen you yet.
He saw you through the window when you looked like a shadow monster with glowing eyes.
Somebody-
He has never met you, my
The
man.
only time I've seen you is when you were cosplaying Michael Myers out in the fucking street, buddy.
Oh, now you want to tell me you're my dad?
Who the fuck are you?
Right? Oh, it's so crazy. But he kind of hints at him. He's like, "Oh, they've never told you?
Yeah.
You're the experiments." Again, the way he says it implies like you were the experiment, which he was, but not no, he wasn't part.
Yeah,
it wasn't a
actually
plan.
part of the experiment.
And to that fact, do we even know the government didn't know that Bruce was the one, right?
No, I don't
They
think
knew
so.
it was a person.
Yeah, they just said we found human blood in your
And
in your
after
lab.
the way he freaked out and did everything, obviously they would have just assumed it was him. Why, when, and how did they know? Maybe his blood. Maybe they matched it up.
Yeah, it
after.
might have.
But it all seems very.
It does.
It's very contrived right now for this moment with Nick.
We had to do the weird microbiology shit. We had to fit it in somehow.
Again, all of it to lead to the weird bed conversation. Bruce somehow manages to go. I'm gonna say it's because he's still dealing with shock and is just like exhaustion, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, I don't think I'd go back to sleep after that.
No, I'd be like pushing that little nurse call button, right? Like somebody get the fuck
But
in here.
apparently, he just goes back to sleep after the man dehovers
Right.
from above him.
Tells it he leaves and stuff. He's just like, "Well, I'll see you again. We're gonna work on your temper and shit." And
No, he tells him. He starts to get a little bit mad, and
Yeah.
he says, "You have to work on that."
and then like, just
Again,
I'm
how
going back
does
to
he
bed
even
now.
know? How does he even know?
oh, that's a good point.
Right now, he's not made the lab rat even. That's literally
Right,
the next thing we
that's
see
the
is him
next thing
making the lab rat, and then he makes the dogs. At this point, he has no point of reference to know why or if Bruce should keep his anger in check. Other than the fact that he has an anger
I was gonna say
problem.
he's an angry man.
But it didn't seem like he was saying it from like a we have anger management issues
Yeah, no,
point
to
of
like
view, and
he
it
knows
seemed like
something.
he said it. Yeah, it seemed like he said it from a
That's a good.
boy.
Don't you turn green on
Shit's
me?
gonna get weird if you don't keep calm.
Don't you get green on me, motherfucker? I'm your dad.
I don't know. It's very.
That was
strange.
weird. I didn't catch that. Those are you. Good catch, man.
Yeah, this is when she goes to talk to her dad. Her dad, he just came to town. She'd already mentioned
Like
he
she
was
was gonna call
coming.
him,
Right, like,
yeah.
it was crazy. He came on his own. She didn't have to call him.
He called me. It was weird.
When they're at dinner, Dad immediately drops the bombshell. I know who. Well, it's crazy. He drops the bombshell and then acts like she knows. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like he's like, surely, you know who your lab partner here is,
yeah, you
right?
know who this Bruce guy is, right?
And she's like, no, what do you know?
Like, what are you fucking talking about?
And it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
And then he just turns around. He's like, well, I'm not at liberty to say. He's like, why the fuck did you bring it up?
But this is the part where it really becomes very evident. He did not know this years-long boyfriend
who
of
she
hers
was dating.
Because he is
they really don't talk.
He literally only is referring to the guy as her lab partner.
Her partner, yeah.
Never as ex-boyfriend, never as anything else. Never as the guy I saw at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that dumb shit you brought to Thanksgiving.
None of those things.
Kind of robotic. Didn't really emote much.
Right? During this, shortly after this, right, is when we get the conversation with her and Bruce about the fact that she told her dad.
Yeah.
And that he might just go to the lab.
Right, yeah, he might.
This is on the phone, right? They're talking on the phone.
Yeah, he's gonna go to the lab and fucking confiscate shit because the government's moving in. This is when Bruce was like already starting to get pissed off because he was
having memories.
He was doing his blood work thing and he saw the weird shit and then it started triggering the memories. So he's already half enraged when the phone's going off.
And then she's like, "They're gonna tear up the lab.
Yeah, they're gonna
do something. My dad's crazy. Who knows?"
Do
you know what she didn't tell Bruce? My dad knows who you are.
Yeah, I didn't even mention that once. Just gloss over that. It's fine.
She said it has something to do with you. But at this point, that could mean goddamned anything.
Right. They think you're a spy or something.
He does hit her with the information about his dad.
Yeah.
As crazy as that is. It's like, yeah, this guy talked to me.
Yeah, just said he was my dad. It's fine.
What? Whatever. We see him finally Hulk out the first time.
I love this shit. I love the practical effects of him just raging around the lab and shit because he's all CGI at this point. But the lab is still just exploding and shit's thrown across the room.
This is so
I don't know how they did it.
I'm not sure. This is so much fun because we see finally like I said, we're done with our 70s references, but we get a comic book reference. If you notice, his skin looks a lot more gray. It's kind of because of the shadows.
Yeah, because it's dark.
But if you really look, again, because it's CG, they made the decision to make sure you were seeing the
kind
gray.
Of a grayish
Because it'd be a nod to the fact that the Hulk started off
gray.
as the gray. Yeah. It was very original, was gray. They just had an issue with printing that.
I would imagine that would be hard.
It was expensive. And so he was like, okay, well,
what's turning green?
What's your cheapest thing?
Yeah, what's your cheapest color? Green? Fuck yeah. Green is
then
great.
He's a green monster with green hair. Sold.
Yes.
Done. Purple pants.
Purple pants. Not like the purple Hulk with green pants.
Well, you gotta have everybody has an inverse, man. But yeah, so we see this is a awesome transition. It's his first transition, so this is before he's really powerful.
Yeah, he's still kind of
small.
He's still kind of small Hulk.
He fits inside the building fairly.
Yeah.
And you're like, later Hulk would not fit in the hallways.
Yeah,
here.
he even has a hard time like yanking the ball reactor out of the
definitely
wall.
He's definitely not at full strength yet, right?
Catches the side of Dad peering out from the janitor's closet, I guess, and shit. He's just like, oh shit.
Yes. Makes him angry.
Yeah, but he like tries to be all like my son again and like reaching for his face.
I think he thought he was gonna calm the beast, right? And it's like, dude,
no, you just made it worse.
Yeah,
man. Like he immediately just jumps through the roof.
Fuel to the fire, right?
Fucking Nolte just laying on the ground, just being my Bruce. He's acting his ass off in this movie.
But yeah, he exploded everything in the lab, including the gamma core thing.
He chucks
right?
it out. I like it when he first picks it up. We get a little bit of like Atlas holding the world up for a second.
That's exactly why I wanted to bring it up.
And he's like, "Oh shit!" and fucking throws it out the window. It's perfect for like a half second that it falls.
Yeah, once all of this is done, though, we very much see that Bruce turns back to himself after his rage.
Yeah, werewolf style. He's back at home.
Not understanding exactly what's going on. Betty shows up. Betty's just like,
"Were you at the lab?" So the lab got fucking wrecked.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like, I know. I'm going to eat literally everything in my house because I'm so hungry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong. This is when he tells her about the dad. About his dad, yeah. Which is crazy. It could have happened the night before. I guess it doesn't really matter. It would have mattered for nothing for anybody because she's not had another run-in. The only reason we even get him telling her, because again, it seems crazy to me that he tells her.
Yeah, because he just kind of
He doesn't believe it, kind of. He thinks it's
part of like a
delusional.
dream. He's like, I had a dream. That old man was there. He said it was my dad.
But the main reason we even get it is just so that way she knows who to go talk to
later
for more information. Yeah. It was a clever ploy to give us a reason for her to know that's what she should be doing, right?
Then General Ross shows up
Mhm.
with Banner's wallet,
with everything.
Yeah,
He's got like armed men rounding the house and everything.
Fucking makes Betty
Comes
leave.
in, calls him by Banner, not
Almost,
the other name.
He's
No,
like,
he
he's
gets
like,
more than
Bruce
half of it. He gets more.
Kessler.
I would say he got the in out. I would say it was Bruce
Ban Kessler.
Yeah.
Ban Kessler.
Certainly,
German.
Yeah, certainly enough that they all knew he was trying to call out the other name. Which is funny because I don't think they know that that's the name yet, right? Like, I don't think the dude introduced his last name. He didn't say, like, I'm David Banner.
No.
Did he? So
I'm just the janitor. I don't think he ever said his name.
I don't think that anybody gets the connection to what he started to say. Other than that, he does know. That's all that he gave away, is that he is a dickhead that
just didn't want people to go, who?
But he also sits down and starts calling him on it, right? Like,
you and your dad are in this together, aren't you?
I don't even know who that is.
You bullshit. You both went into the exact same field.
You were there,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
That's what he says. You were there.
You saw it. How do you not remember something like that when you see it?
This is so messed up. Again, us as a viewer, if this is your first time, you don't know what he's referring to. They do still make it seem like maybe his dad turned into a monster back in the day, right?
Yeah.
But we know the truth. We know that this man knew that his mom got killed
by his dad
and was trying to lay that on him hostile like.
We know you saw your dad stab your mom right in the chest. I know it because you were right there. Now tell me.
And what would that have any connection to all of the rest of this?
And then he acts like surprised. He's like, oh, repressed memory. It's like, oh, okay. Why wouldn't you immediately have thought of that? That's pretty fucking traumatic for, what, he was like 4 or 5 when that happened?
This is exactly why you should keep better tabs on a kid like that.
Yeah, not just ship him off to fucking orphanage after you throw his parents in
never
jail.
know where he ended up or whatever the hell this is.
Just collateral damage. That's what he says, right?
Yep. But so, yeah, he tells Betty's got to go. They take him sequestered.
Yep.
He can't talk to anybody. Just stay away for a few days.
Yeah, you just go away.
What a dickheaded move. And then she immediately bolts off to go see
David.
Right?
Yeah.
Why?
It's the only lead
Again, no,
she has,
I get it.
guess?
The conversation is the only reason why, which is why we had to have the dumb conversation about him being like, crazy man said he's my daddy.
Yeah.
But again, I still feel like out of all the places she could go right now, as far as she's concerned, and Bruce, she ran to the crazy man who believes he's my dad. Not maybe somebody who could help her,
right?
No,
gotta make sure.
Not
he's
maybe
crazy.
to the lab to see if she could work on a cure. Not anything
she could salvage
useful.
some kind of security footage.
Because at this point, she's already even speculating that he was whatever caused the damage. She doesn't know what it was. She doesn't know yet.
He drove a truck through the building.
Yeah, she's pretty sure he was there. And so
my dad did find your wallet, so I shall go talk to crazy man who lives in the fucking slums down by the port.
Yeah.
And then he proceed for 5 minutes to be the creepiest motherfucker in the world when she gets there.
Yes. No, he does so much creepy stuff. He steals the scarf.
Yeah, the scarf from her so he can get her scent.
Sits way too close to her.
Puts his hand on her
practically
leg.
Sniffing her.
Right? Then he starts talking about the crazy shit about them throwing him in jail and all this
hinting at weirdness that
they don't know. They don't know what he is, but we do. But we can't help him anymore. You know, shit
and
like
she's
that.
just like, we what, motherfucker?
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's no we here. There's you. Are there more than one in your head, sir? We? Is that the we?
Yeah.
I mean, David is certainly way more insane than he thinks he is. Right? Like, he thinks he's still pretty.
Yeah, he thinks
normal.
he's totally fine. This is the most rational shit to do in the world.
He also talks to her a bit like all of a sudden they're in Romeo and Juliet, right? Like he is somehow trying to save her from her dad and the horrible fate that could be waiting the two of them because
he's
they're
like,
from
he's like, you don't know your father like I do.
right.
It's like, well, I mean,
so,
your only beef is he threw you in jail,
Like,
and
I
stopped
think
your research.
she's known him for 30 years. I'm pretty sure she has a pretty good idea of who he is. You've not talked to him in 30 years. I think she
And
might have a better idea.
Oh, she totally does. She's like, I know my dad's a dick. That's why I haven't talked to him in 5 years. Like, literally, 2 days ago was the first time I had talked to my dad. And now look what's happening. He stole my boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend.
After this, we see the reason why he kept why he stole the scarf, right? He has created mutant
dogs. Pets. These were his pets.
That's the fucked up pets, dude.
Wasn't just like lab dogs. Like,
yeah,
these were his like highly trained, loyal
we
fucking
saw
pets.
He tried it out on the rat. The rat looked nuts.
Yeah, the rat was evil.
And then he decided to redo the exact same experiment on his pets. His spent
poodle,
a lot of time with
his poor
loved,
French poodle.
Trained pets. This man
little
is so
pit bull.
beyond sadistic. But then he sends his dogs off
to go deal with Betty.
Yeah, and so the next thing
why he needed the scarf. Here's the scent.
The next thing we see is the weird burner call.
Yeah, when did he put that in fucking Bruce's house?
I don't know. But we get the
There's
burner
like
call.
fucking cell phone under his couch.
To tell him, hey, everything's gonna be okay. Because again, he's still trying to act like he's the dad.
I'm taking care of it.
Yeah,
Don't
he's still
worry.
trying to act like I'm the good guy.
I'm gonna kill the bad lady, and then we're gonna get you out
Bruce
of where
is like,
you're
what do you
at.
mean?
He's like, oh, I sent my four-legged friends after her.
Don't worry, I've made some alterations.
Yeah, they're a little unstable. They're not like you, but we'll just see how the experiment runs. And he's
so insane. But then before Bruce can even like react to this moment, what happens?
Fucking Glenn.
Talbot, dude.
Fucking Glenn
what the
shows
fuck
up.
Is this guy, man?
He kicks his way in the door past security.
This little shithead.
Because he got cut out of the deal.
He left the military and still is now acting like he has control over
these soldiers
What
outside.
a power trip this dude's got, right? Yeah, he's mad. He feels like he got cut out of the deal. Again, Bruce had nothing to do with this.
No, he didn't have anything to do with it.
Fucking Ross took him out because it became a national security
issue,
right? Like it's because we
have a monster on the
until
loose.
we can figure this out. We don't want you doing tests because we don't trust what you guys are going to do.
Fuck
with
that.
it. Right?
Glenn wants his samples so he can make his super soldiers that are self-healing and make fuck tons of money.
Right? Again, this is our connection to some Ultimates, like I was saying. Yeah, like the Spider-Man from the time was Ultimates. This being based on a super soldier, I feel is like a very Ultimates kind of comic book basing. But yeah, he definitely, there's this strong underlying hint, especially from Talbot and the early experiment, that somehow they were trying to find a way to do this to lots of people, right? And that's definitely a problem.
We need to recreate the Captain America thing,
essentially,
but on a mass scale.
Yeah. This was definitely not the one.
Yeah, no, this didn't work.
Talbot, though, he gets it. This is so crazy. This is the one time he tries to use the relationship that we didn't need to know about to some kind of effect, right? He does get Bruce a little bit angry right now when he mentions Betty. But the problem is he doesn't even mention like Betty going for him. He just mentions
Betty's in
Betty
danger.
Not being not Bruce to Glenn. Glenn, when he's trying to piss Bruce off and trying to talk, he's like, you can't talk about her. You're not allowed to make threats like that. You know, he starts saying all this stuff, but he's saying stuff that's not like in a relationship way, right? Like they set it up like Glenn was going to be able to use. The reason we knew that they knew each other before was that they were going to use it. He doesn't.
First.
Yeah, that is not what happens. He literally he only uses the fact that Betty is not with Bruce.
Kicks the door in.
Anybody
like,
could have
you
used
had my
that.
sloppy seconds.
Yeah, that would have made sense, but that's not what we got.
No.
Again, like I said, we could have not had Betty. This all would have still
would have worked just fine.
Because Glenn still had a reason to be in Bruce's house.
They're fucking with my money now,
right? So I just always, it seems so weird. But so Bruce though does tell Glenn, dude, back it up.
Yeah, she's in danger, man. You're pissing me off.
You're pissing me off.
We
It's the
don't
closest-
actually get
Yeah.
the don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me if I'm angry.
This is the closest we get.
He just says you're making me angry, and Glenn does that big shit.
He's so happy. He's like,
smile,
oh yeah.
oh, am I?
But then he realizes he fucked up. We start seeing the change.
Just fucking, and then cut to the outside of the house, and fucking
Throw.
he just throws Talbot through the window with a couch.
And he lands, and then he goes outside. And this second throw, where he throws him into the other person.
Yeah, and then he just smacks his face off the concrete. That shit
Holy
should have killed
Yeah,
him.
I was shocked to see him alive. Don't get me wrong, he's fucked up when you see
Just
him the next time.
neck
Well, and
he's
he's in
on
the, like-
crutches,
yeah.
his arms in a sling.
But I didn't expect to see him again. I thought he
think
was
in the
gone.
original script he was supposed to be dead, and they were like, "That's a little too dark."
Yeah, I don't know.
For,
Well, I mean,
for the Hulk, who's supposed to be a superhero,
Is it too dark? What happens? What happens now? He goes to fight some dogs.
They're not human.
He kills these dogs, these pets.
One
we
of
just
them,
talked.
all right, one of them bit him in the dick. It had it coming.
I understand. I understand.
The only one I feel bad for is the fat, chubby faced one. It's cute.
But I am just saying these were innocent pets.
That's true.
Literally like 48 hours ago.
Nice, loyal ones too, man. Like they
So,
did exactly what they were told.
If you're gonna tell me that this movie's okay with him, where's the ASPCA right now? Where's PETA? You're telling me
they're
that-
busy.
You're telling me that they were okay with this, but I should be all right with. I mean, Glenn, fuck, dude. Let's just see.
No, he
kill him.
lands like neck first on the curb.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
no way
We
he's
totally-
alive.
If we're gonna let if we're gonna let the scene with the dogs happen, we should have let Glenn
Should've
just
let-
be dead.
yeah, just let him be
That's
dead.
all I'm saying. But yeah, we do
Later-
get a massive battle though with our dogs.
Yeah, I was gonna say later on when Glenn actually does finally die, it's even the most cartoony death ever. Is with the big explosion behind him, and he just goes the
Yeah.
pose.
Uh,
So even when they actually kill him, they couldn't make it dark.
no. Well, and the movie the dogs get the darkest.
Yeah, they
killing.
do. This is
Nobody
like
else-
the darkest scene
uh,
in the movie.
The only other people that die are people that die like in a helicopter crash, right? So like you're not close enough for it to.
It's implied that none of them die because they'll show you
Whatever.
like the one guy who made it. Like
Whatever.
he comes crawling out of the
No.
tank. It's like no, everybody else in that tank is fucking
Well,
dead. That guy's just
especially
lucky.
Well, especially these helicopters.
yeah, these
When these things went down, nobody was surviving inside
They're
these
going down
metal
like
boxes.
8 pieces and shit.
But yeah, the dog fight is probably is the most brutal with a living fight.
It's the
right? A
best
living
fight
creature.
too in the movie. It's my favorite one.
We see though he obliterates the dogs, and I mean obliterate. Like when each one dies, you
They
see
turn
like
into a green mist.
which is really fucked up because we know that means blood, right? Like their blood is
So
now
if
green
you were
radiation.
to actually manage to make the Hulk bleed, it would just be like a bright green
Probably.
ooze.
Yeah.
That's cool. I kind of want to see that
because it's
now.
all gamma radiation,
Yeah.
right? Like
They should have done that. Like when he takes the tank round later
Yeah, but
on.
they wanted
Just
to
a
be
little
so
bit.
badass we don't
I
see
guess.
blood.
Give me some radioactive fucking green blood. That would have been dope.
During the battle, which was taking place at the cabin, we
Yeah, the
forgot to
cabin,
mention that.
the cabin from the
picture,
flashback,
from
dream
the
flashback.
notoriously crazy flashback within a dream, within a dream, within a flashback, within a, I don't know.
Go back 20 minutes. I explained it pretty good.
Yeah, it was
earlier.
good, but it's confusing.
Yeah, I forgot by now.
But
But it's this place.
it's that cabin. While the fight is going on, we see Betty not leave.
She had the chance to. She's
I
in
know
the
she
car.
did.
It started.
It does
and
get
then
fucked up after that, but she could have left
She
before
just
it
turns
gets
the
fucked
car
up.
off.
Exactly. She should have been gone.
Right? I would.
I don't think Bruce would have judged her at all if he would have woke up and she wasn't there.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, good, she got away.
I did what I needed to.
I saved her."
No, of course not though. That'd be too easy.
Nope. Smashes the shit out of her car because the poodle finally gets it. It's like going through the windshield. And he Hulk body slam from nowhere and just takes out this whole car, just smashes the whole front of it in. I'm like, damn, you almost killed her, man.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess. But I like how he lands on the dog and it just immediately turned into mist. Just
Once the fighting's done, he sulks off.
Hulk
right?
butt.
Yes, Hulk butt kind of wanders sulkily to the
To
trees.
the water's edge and shit.
I know we need to know that he's up. Even the monster is upset by
Yeah.
what just transpired.
And he calms down finally.
Yeah, turns back. and we see Betty calls her dad again.
Right afterwards, she like gets him like after he turns back into human, gets him into the cabin and calm and in the bed. She immediately goes outside, calls her dad, like, "Hey, I am in way over my fucking head. Come help me."
It's
Which I kind of get after what she saw, but you're still kind of ratting your boy
she
out.
had to know. She's already seen the crazy shit her dad did once.
She had to know what was going to happen.
This seems like a dumb
she acts
call.
Surprised in the morning when they trank him and fucking haul him off.
And she tells him it's all going to be okay.
I'm taking you somewhere safe. And
they get there, and then
when they get there, you know what this bitch says to him? Has the gall to goddamn say to this man with all his post-traumatic stress, "You're home."
I know.
Fuck you.
In the middle of this military base, locked all
chained
shit
to the bed.
You're home. It's okay.
It's okay. Fuck you.
Like I said, she's insane. There's no trust anymore.
I liked her up to this point. When she's up to the point where she called her dad and ratted him out, I was like, "Oh, well, fuck you, lady. I don't like you anymore."
Well, this is... yeah, okay, I'll give you. The first time she didn't call her dad, you're right. The dad showed up on his own. She had no part in that.
Yeah. She said she was going to call him, but he beat her to it, I guess.
But yeah, but this is, like we said, it's so messed up. He wakes up, he's in this totally crazy place. This bitch,
white room.
This bitch that he just watched, like, stand there and tell him everything's okay after he got shot with these crazy darts and dragged to what is essentially the facility from Resident Evil, right?
Yeah,
this
is
the
kinda.
Beehive facility
That's underground.
Yeah, it's the Hive, right? That's what they call it.
Yeah, the Hive.
This is the Hive from Resident Evil. It's where they take him, and she's just like, "You're home, locked away from the world to see you," and she's
forever.
She's still acting like everything's okay. And then her dad tells her like, "No, we're just gonna put him under, and he's never gonna see the light of day again."
Yeah.
And now she acts surprised.
Yeah, this is where she's all like, I'm a scientist, and I believe for like with science we could fix him and man, all this other shit.
Daddy, let him go.
Yeah,
essentially.
Daddy, you're not listening to me.
But I love him. But again, that's not even what she says. That's not even what she says.
Yeah, that's not what she says.
Because again, they only let the relationship make sense if a jealousy point might come up, but not in a point where like this, where it could help.
Yeah.
Like it could be brought up that we have a connection.
This is a constant on again, off again kind of thing forever, right?
He does admit though, he is indebted to Bruce for killing that poodle. I love that. That's exactly. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
else.
He saved you from a French poodle, and I am indebted to him for that. Just the way he says it, it's like, I love you, Samuel, you motherfucker. When you read that, you know he did. When he read that sentence that day, he was like, I have to say what?
Mm-hmm.
But he managed to make it cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Mutant French poodle.
Also, during that conversation is when she says to her dad, I just wish I knew what happened to him back then. Right? This is the first time we get a plea to know.
Because I know you know, Dad.
And again, we don't actually find out yet that he doesn't tell, but he does not tell her. No, he does not answer her.
He just kind of looks away, and then it cuts to.
He does let her do what she wants. Yeah, she gets to him special treatment.
Yeah, her and Bruce go walking around the old neighborhood with the abandoned houses from when they were kids.
That is what happens. I was just more wanting to say that they get that he approves this because right now she's asked. It. Yeah, right now she had asked for it because before we see them walking around. Is when we see the people try to go break down David's fucking house.
Oh yeah, they go raid it and he's already gone.
Because of course, I only want to mention this because of course he is. Yeah, this man is.
He left as soon as Betty did. As soon as he sicked those dogs off, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna go start doing other shit."
Conspiracy theorist again, like what?
He was already out. Took all of his equipment over to the lab and started.
You guys kept him in jail for 30 years. He's gone.
Right?
Do we ever get told? Did he get released? He says it, but does anybody else confirm that, or did he break out of prison?
He broke out, and he's just saying they released me because
I think so
because he's sane. Remember, even they had to admit it.
I know exactly, and I feel like there's no way someone let him pass a sanity test.
No way. He escaped.
Yeah, he obviously is no dummy. While they're busy at his house, though, he was smart enough to be like, Bet you no one's at the lab.
Yep, goes in there and just MacGyvers himself.
Which I do not believe. I
gamma
believe
rig.
that lab would still have 100% security
That
around
thing is
it.
on complete lockdown because it's still under investigation.
Yeah, well, and until they know what is important, and once they know what's important, it's gone, right? There's like I just don't
Especially
believe
those gamma
right,
reactor things.
I don't
he's
believe
using.
in any way he would
They're just
ever
laying
been able
there.
to do what we see happen right here, which is finally finish his own test, right? Like he wants to
He wants to finish his own human
Because-
experiment on himself because he
Which-
has the key now. It's the radiation and the nanomeds.
even
Which-
though earlier he didn't want to admit it was the nanomeds, or he wanted to passively admit it was the nanomeds.
They could be the key. I think somebody says like that.
Ugh, what?
Now he's all for it. He fucking shotguns these things and through a big hose, just and then hits the button and gammas himself.
Yep.
And what is his power? Do you understand this? Does he just become stuff,
Well,
or can he just absorb the energy from it?
he becomes it at a molecular level, which is why he can literally phase into it, right?
Okay.
Like because it's just like if you're in the vacuum of space and you were to you could literally fuse two metals to where they are molecularly
I've
the
heard of
same,
that, yeah.
right? Like so it's literally like that principle. He is molecularly the same, so he can actually phase into it because
Okay.
he's so much
They
the
didn't
same.
explain it well in the movie because he's just like, I can become one with the energy, and then he like moves,
Touches it.
and like throws the fucking panel.
The
thing
first
at
time was even an accident. He's
Yeah.
just like he's like about to stand up, right? Puts his hand on the pole, the metal pole, and he
it
like
turns into
and
the
he starts.
metal.
You hear that awful metal on
Screeching
metal
noise.
screeching noise. Ugh.
Even he's freaking out. He's like, "Oh shit!" Trying to get his
Yeah, he,
hand
like,
out of it.
grabs the other hand to rip it off. So great. I love this. So the security guard walks in and he throws out the weirdest fucking line to him, right? Like after the security guard says or whatever, and he's just like, "Oh, you think I'm not part of you?"
And then fucking flips him.
Well, again,
With
like
the floor
but
plate
he
and
didn't
shit?
do anything to be part of the guy.
Yeah, right.
It was a very weird thing to say to the
Could
guy.
he? Could he? He can
I-
just do. He can just.
I would imagine. I mean,
So if he, like-
you have a molecular makeup
Yeah.
just like this does, so I would imagine yes.
So if he touched you, he could just reach inside and rip your fucking heart out.
I think so.
probably. Ew.
But he luckily never figures out
That
this level of
gruesome
control.
that gruesome control of it. He just
Uh,
smashes the guy with a monitor.
Well, and uses the electricity, right? He gets
Yeah.
a little bit of the electricity. He's
Gives it
pumping
some
the extra
juice.
transistor juice.
Gotta make his legs kick.
Because you see, like the face, it's got like a little bit
Yeah.
of that like black transistor look for a second when he's doing all of it. Weird power set, like a
Like a chameleon.
but
yeah.
but on a base level, right? Like it's not just the color.
I don't become just this shade of blue. I am this metal and paint.
But again, this is the part where it really becomes strange when you try to think about the science of what the fuck happened with David 30 years ago, right?
Yeah, what would make that happen?
Well, I'm not even worried about that, but I mean, like, he was already altered, but he's saying it was only right in his son after being passed down through heredity, and then these other things happening, meaning he should know that he's going to turn out different, but he thought he'd turn out the same, right?
Yeah.
Like, he is an X factor.
That's why he needs his son's DNA later.
But what I'm saying is, even with his son's DNA, he's still an X factor, right? His son doesn't have literally his DNA.
Yeah.
He has half of it. That's what I'm saying.
The mom's the key.
Maybe, but certainly injecting Bruce's DNA into himself and thinking he's going to get the exact same thing would never happen, right? Like,
No.
because Bruce didn't have literally, like, they didn't shoot his dad's DNA into him the moment he got all this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He should have known, not that this would happen, but that
Something else would have happened, yeah.
Although I guess I'm giving too much credit to the mad scientists. I'm focusing on the
remember-
scientists and not the mad.
It's like, remember, he is crazy.
No, he's sane again.
He's sane. He's totally sane.
After we finally see him and his power set and all the craziness that is David Banner and his final
Super David.
transformation, we now is when we see the desert and them talking to each other, walking, because again, she has that kind of pull.
She's got a whole platoon of Marines following
I
her
understand,
too. So I mean,
but
like,
still, she isn't in the army. You know what I mean? Like,
right, she's just wandering around.
She just gets to tell Daddy,
he's
Daddy,
not like
let me do
handcuffed
this.
or
Yeah,
anything.
that's what I'm getting at. It's a little much. The man, they were ready to leave the man sedated in a water tank for eternity.
Just let him wander around.
Yeah,
with some Marines like they're pretty far the fuck away too.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to be able to respond quickly to shit.
Like I said, it's just a little weird. It's plus the fact that again, what science is she practicing, right? Like she is right now, all of a sudden she's a psychologist or some shit, right? Because she starts doing this. Yeah, I can fix him because I can help him unlock this shit in his brain.
But they were bioengineer.
Yeah, he was like a nano expert, so robotics and computer programming, and she is something. Maybe somebody is a bioengineer, like you said. Where did the psychology degree come from?
She minored in psychology.
I guess so. Daddy, I can fix him. I minored in psych for 2 semesters. You know.
You know this, and I got a C. Okay,
it's so weird, but she does. She takes him to the place. She takes him to the old house.
Yeah, where it happened.
And she's like, "Look, we need to know
what's in the room. Why are you so afraid of it?
What happened in that room?
Nothing.
Yeah, no. We finally need to break this down. Yeah. What happened in the room?
His dad killed his mom.
Right. It's
rough. Bruce doesn't actually tell us this. Nick does at some point, right?
Yeah, no.
It's like when
it's the revelation he gives, yeah.
Because that's when Glenn comes and goes over Ross's head and throws him in that fucking tank to the piss off tank.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't find out, but I'm just saying we needed to go ahead and address it fully because even though Bruce doesn't say it out loud, but I'm pretty sure that they're trying to say he knows
he's
now.
Remembered by this point. Yeah. He's still just not
connecting all the dots.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, he definitely knows it was no longer a monster, right? Like
that's definitely his
bigger
dad.
thing. He knows that his dad never stopped being a man at this point, which means that if you know he went in and because again, the beginning part again, this whole duality of man and monster, right, was like he could at least lie to himself and say the monster that came out killed his mom, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you admit that whatever came out of the room wasn't a monster,
it was just
you have to admit your dad killed your mom. So like I said, even though they didn't tell us in words, I think the implication is that
that's why
he knows.
Yeah, and that's why he didn't want to look in that room.
He figured it out. He pieced it together. He wasn't ready to speak about what he finally realized. Yeah, that's kind of the take I took on it. But again, where Ang Lee's doing all this like crazy
fucking
mental, it's hard to know for sure. Yeah. So no one quote me on saying that's what he meant. That just kind of feels like what he meant.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it is what it feels like. Thank you, sir. I agree.
Got you, man.
But yeah, this is the part, like you said, Talbot comes crashing in. He is ready to take over the program.
Yeah, he went above General Ross's head.
Well, again, he's still pissed off, right?
To like the senator or some shit.
Well, somebody. And this is when we find out that this is not just a military base. It is a base half owned by the company.
The Atheon company.
Which is so random.
Those military contracts, man.
Don't feel like that's something that would ever happen, right? Like, to the point that, like, they had their name embroiled on the hallway.
The wall, yeah.
That's pretty nuts, dude. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Atheon built the facility.
I could believe
the military just gets to use it.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
I could believe that they had a research lab and then they would have just like a normal sign, not like a goddamn neon sign like you just entered Costco or something. And that's how I felt.
They have an Atheon door greeter at the top. It's like, hi, welcome to Atheon.
But yeah, so while they're there, Talbot's like, well, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. We see this is where he gets the infamous pants.
Yeah,
the true purple shorts,
true purple pants,
because these are somehow the most magic of all magic materials.
They never rip,
but
they just grow to the size you need them.
Talbot tells him he's gonna piss him off.
Yeah,
because he wants him pissed off.
Betty's gone. We've already sent her away. She's on her way back to Berkeley.
He thought this was gonna make him mad. Didn't do anything. Hits him.
Punches him in the face.
He's
still
like,
nothing.
Well, look, I see you've got control over that, but I bet you can't control this when you're
knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
So
uses a cow prod on him.
Yeah.
Puts him in the water. Fucking Ross comes over the overhead Dude,
What
I
the
don't care
fuck are
what you're
you
doing right now,
doing?
but look, I may not be in charge, but I'm telling you with every piece of authority I do have, fucking stop.
Do not do what you are about
This
to
is a
do.
bad idea.
Go fuck yourself.
Talbot's like, I got this.
I need my sample so I can make money.
Glenn gives him the big F you and says, I'm going to do what I do. And so
Turns
then
the fucking intercom off.
and they start pumping these things into his head, these brainwave signals. So they're making the anger be angry,
Which
right?
makes him trigger memories that he didn't want to remember.
And so now he definitely
And then we
knows.
get the cool, that's happening, and then Nick Nolte is explaining what he had actually done, because when
he snuck into
to Betty's house,
which is weird. This whole
he
moment
teleports, man.
Well, it's just weird because we see that, and then we basically don't see him again until he's caught. But we don't see him get caught. We just know he is caught, right?
Yeah.
It's like I said, Nick Nolte just kind of disappears for a while. Like we see
have
this.
to have our like action
I
scenes.
know, but it just kind of.
And then we'll get back to
yeah,
the psychological.
It just
movie.
felt weird. But yeah, so he is confessing the truth while Bruce learns the truth in his head, right? So like at this point, like I said, I think he already knew. It's just the first time they're playing it on screen for us since we're hearing the words, right? Like so it does. It makes
in his subconscious
this beautiful thing play out at the same
time.
Get
away from it.
But so yeah, what we see is that day we thought he turned into the Hulk. He actually ran home, grabbed a knife, and said he was going to kill Bruce. And Mom said, "Bitch, no."
Got in the way, and they fell, and the knife went right into her chest.
I felt like
they merged,
like the knife became one with her.
And then I knew everything that mattered was gone. And that
this
one
is supposed
fell
to be
moment. I'm like, am I supposed to feel bad for
well,
you?
I don't think that we're supposed to feel bad, but this is supposed to be like just like how the Hulk is like a psychological duality expressing from Bruce's mind.
Yeah.
The reason he can but like the knife became one with her.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird.
Psychological
this is the thing that the reason he has his power is also connected to this weird psychological hang-up. That's how I took it.
I didn't think of that.
That's why it's such a weird convert. That's why the description is so strange.
Yeah.
Because it does, though, if you think about it, like perfectly describe his power set.
Yeah, a little bit
in a way.
So he's just merging in together with everything.
Can't separate
like the
them.
Knife.
And how he could, like, it never became not part of her again, or whatever.
Whatever the fuck he says.
Cool
again, scene though of her like
insane.
Reaching up into the sky, dying, and then the bomb going off in the distance.
It was
nice.
good.
That was good.
It was insane. Bruce remembering at this very moment while that happens, he remembers literally Ross coming in when he was a kid, putting his arm on the literally. We even see the flashback makes us think that like Ross had a moment to be a good dude,
like fucking Gordon.
Yes.
For Bruce Wayne,
yes.
Shit, you know,
he had a moment
the jacket around
to
him,
be a good
okay.
dude.
Fuck no, grabs him and yeets him off to a fucking orphanage and never thinks of him again until like a month ago,
when he finds out that his daughter's been hanging out with him for years. Man,
they did not communicate at all.
But yeah, so at this point though, he has officially crossed over. The anger has come out.
He
Hulkifies in the water tank, busts it to all hell.
Just keeps
He's
getting
full
bigger.
Hulk now, right? We've seen like Kid Hulk, the very first version of him that could fit in a hallway. We saw the teenage Hulk, which was the one like beating the dogs.
Yeah, beating the dogs up
because he was a little bit taller. This is like full stature.
Yeah,
right?
This is full. I have to bend over to go down these giant corridors in this huge base.
Well, and like literally, like we see him till Talbot shoots him with the weird foam.
I like
trap.
The foam.
It was cool. It's but he shoots him with the foam trap, right? And like that's the moment where you really get an idea of like how big he is, because he's trapped lengthwise down this hallway, and it's still huge, right?
Yeah.
Face is right there. Talbot walks up to his head,
touching the ceiling.
Talbot walks up to, and you see the difference between his head and Talbot's head, and you're like, "Damn,
dude, don't
like,
do
that's
just
big.
Back up."
Talbot's like, "No, but I need to get a piece of you. I need some of you.
A
I need to
sample.
extract it."
And that's not even just like goes for like the cheek. No, fuck that. He's going for the eye with this huge drill thing. It's for you to fucking just piss him off more. Why don't you?
And that's all that really happens here.
Yeah,
because you can't. The man's bounced. At this point, we've seen bullets bounce off. We've seen a lot of stuff already. You're not hurting the dude.
The Hulk busts out of this foam, and
ready to go.
throws Talbot down the hallway.
Talbot's having PTSD right now from the last time he got tossed.
Fucking rocket launcher thing and shoots it like, I got you now.
Well, what's crazy about the scene is like he pulls the bullet out of his pocket. He
Like, he's
didn't
been
have a
carrying it
gun.
the whole
He
time.
grabbed a gun from somebody else.
Yeah, it was somebody else's.
He was like, bullet?
Just in case.
I need your gun.
Just in case.
It
always
but
carries
if
a
it's
shell.
just in case, wouldn't you have the gun to fire said bullet?
Say, everybody has one. I don't have to carry that fucking grenade launcher.
But yeah, he pulls out this wicked, insane, I don't even know bullet. It's nuts.
It looks like a mortar shell, but he feeds it into a grenade launcher. Explain that one too.
I don't know. This thing was nuts, dude.
He shoots him, and it just bounces off into the wall.
Again, we said this is a serious movie. This is not your MCU fare where we got to make everything funny. And I agree, we don't need everything funny. This movie maybe got a little too serious at times.
This
was the greatest comic relief. Not just like you mentioned earlier, the way Talbot actually dies, but like the
whole
fact
setup.
that we see it bounce off and ricochet into the wall.
When it bounces,
it's beeping in the wall. You can see the red
Talbot's
dot
got
blinking
time
for a
to be
second.
like, oh shit!
Yeah, there's so much that is so funny right here. But yeah, we tape it all off with, like you said earlier, Talbot flying forward, and we get the weird. They freeze frame it at the
for
weirdest
like a
time.
half second. And he's got like a black outline around him.
Yeah, he's got the border. It's so comic booky, so beautiful. I loved it, and we get the full comic book like checkered board transition from this
shit,
out.
yes.
I love it. It was so good. A lot of people want to complain about this, but you can say what you want.
I loved it. I loved
this. Is what a comic book movie should be.
This happens a lot through the next where he's escaping from the thing.
This is what a comic book movie should be.
Panel of General Ross giving orders. Panel of destruction going on.
Well,
panel of like what Nolte's doing.
We can kind of roll through this for right now.
This is just a big action sequence.
He goes out. He's bouncing through the desert, right?
Fucking runs into some big ass tanks. Has a big old brawl with them.
Bullets are bouncing. Even the tank shells are
just
bouncing.
Bounce off, but I guess they're on a time delay because they still blow up. They just bounce off, land in the sand, and he just looks at them for a second, and then they blow up.
I love this because as soon as he breaks out, we officially see that this version of the Hulk is like the old school Superman, right?
Yeah.
He's leaping tall buildings
in a single bound.
He's being hit by bullets, no problem. Like he's
more
Superman.
powerful than a locomotive.
Yeah, well, he's faster than a locomotive. He's like you see him. He even looks like that when he's doing the first run. Like his legs are doing like the circular like movement type thing. I was like,
when the helicopter shows up and he goes around that one like big round curve thing and they're shooting at him, he's full locomotive.
I'm telling you. All of these scenes were so great in like showing his power set. They waited so long to show us a full power set. It's so good.
He starts with the tanks, right? And it's like, oh, those are too bulky and slow moving, right? So because he just picks one of them up and just uses it like a hammer.
Hey, one of them almost took him out. Let's not forget about the nut shot.
It did hit him in the balls with that.
But that's a low blow.
It is. It's cheap. Fucking just tilts the barrel of it back at it and just like, there, shoot again, asshole.
But yeah, after those is when we get
the super badass
the
helicopter things
that were real.
Yeah, these were real experimental.
People need to know that
choppers.
because I feel like
almost used these.
I feel like when you see them in this movie, you feel like you're looking at a G.I. Joe toy.
Yeah,
because they do
the Cobra Command on the side.
They do look like a G.I. Joe toy. They really do.
They act like because they have the little wing pods.
They look like they
would
never be able to fly. The metal piece that spins the propellers looks so heavy,
right?
That you never would think that would move.
But it was an experimental aircraft.
Yeah, it was definitely never got really used. This is the closest they have to trial footage is the fake footage in the movie.
What was it you said earlier? It was like, this is why we didn't pick them up. This movie is like Ang Lee put it through their paces, and he's just like, no, these suck. We're not. Well, using them.
The fuel economy is horrible, right? Like we see during the fight
like twice. They're like, we gotta go get more fuel.
They get called in. Ross is hanging back, watching from the other helicopter, the old school,
the workhorse.
He's watching. And they shoot everything they've got. And the Hulk fights with them for 5 minutes. Don't get me wrong. They flew from wherever the base was. So it was a good distance because he's leaping at this point. But it doesn't change the fact that it's not that long of a flight.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes. And they're like, oh, we need more fuel.
He's taken out a couple of the helicopters. So I'm sure the other ones are ready to leave.
Yeah,
but they're like, we're out of ammo and gas.
How are you out of gas? Ammo I gave it. How are you out of gas already? We went flying for 5 minutes.
This is how commonplace it must have been. Ross didn't even question it.
No, he's just like, all right, go get more fuel. I'm going to stay here. He never has to go. He's out there for the whole duration of it. He even flies all the way to San Francisco at the end. On one tank.
On one tank. He flies this thing
Huey.
forever, right? But so we see this epic traveling battle goes on. Ross calls Betty. I'm pretty sure he's headed to you. You need to be ready. She's like, I'm on base.
I'm already
good.
there.
Don't worry. We see this gets wild because the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, because the jets are coming in now. Now he's fighting fucking F-22s. He goes on the ride up into space and then falls back down into the water.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I almost forgot about the cool plane part. Because the one that takes him up. Yeah.
Because he jumps on the back of the plane and they're like, take him to the top of the earth. And he takes him up so far that he passes out.
But yeah, the plane thing is really cool. It's like a game of chicken.
Yeah.
Right? Between him and the jet guy.
Who's going to pass out first?
The jet guy was seriously... Well, he didn't win, I don't think.
No,
I think he calls
it. He's like, I'm pulling out of this.
They were both about to go. So it was really close.
It was really close.
But yeah, this was a hell of a gamble from Ross with this dude's life to be like, go up to space in that plane.
Because it does. It comes
they're on the edge. Yeah,
it turns into stars and
the
shit.
glass is starting to like crystallize.
Yeah, it's freezing over.
Then we come back down. Then, like I said, we see him. He dives into the water, right? And like I said, the next time we see him is when he
busts up out of the ground
from the and
like
it's
under
not
the
even
street.
Like he immediately busts up out of the ground. We see him make the trail like a cartoon.
Trimmers,
yes,
fucking making the big trail through
and so
the fucking street.
Did he go from the bay to the sewer system?
Had to have.
That's a crazy because if not, they would have found him again.
Yeah,
right. That's why he dove into the water was hide from the other jets. That
if he'd have just come crawling up on the beach, they'd have been like, shoot him again.
But that's not how he handles it.
He's lucked out and happened to find a big ass sewer drain underwater.
Now is when he comes back out. He's above ground. They see him.
They're surrounding him again.
Everything's gotta come to a head.
He picks up the big rock to throw it at Ross's chopper, and it turns right in time for him to see Betty's in it, and he's like,
no.
Oh, it's Betty. I won't throw the rock.
Yeah.
He's just kind of, they would say this bit takes way too long. She has to go land and then come running down the stairs. And Hulk the whole time is just kind of staring at everybody, pointing guns at him and shit.
Yeah. It's a weird, not even tense moment.
No,
they don't play it as
waiting.
tense. Yeah.
He's just kind of waiting. And then he calms down. And I liked this. The transition of him turning from Hulk back into Eric Bana and stuff was really nice CGI work for 2003.
Yes. It looks good.
Yeah, it was really good.
The craziest part about this is it feels like the end.
Yeah, this movie's over.
And it might as well be the end. Like, I know the end is the actual ending is your favorite, but you gotta agree with me.
Yeah, I agree. You could have stopped here.
And it feels like it's going to.
It really does. You're like waiting for it to fade to black.
Over Bruce Banner's shoulder, you start to see soldiers
creeping up.
And you're like, oh, wait.
We're not done.
That can't be where it is.
Never mind.
They take him to custody. They're ready to do the same thing again. When did they get his dad? When did David get in custody?
Because when he talks to Betty in
we
her
don't
house,
see it.
We don't see him get arrested. He's just like, I'll turn myself in. I just want to talk to my son.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah,
but we never
see him get arrested, so he's just in that jail cell, and they bring him out.
Perfect timing for us to hook him up to this giant electromagnet thing. Because they're ready to shock Bruce if he turns, but then they're trying to make him turn. What is happening?
I don't know.
I know you love this. It is good action.
I love this because of Nick Nolte.
I was going to say, it is definitely some great Nolte. I will give you that.
It is fantastic. He is chewing literally the scenery around.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So, like, at this point, nobody knows his powers. Nobody's seen them. He didn't show them off to Betty.
No.
Nobody knows. Because obviously, they would have found a better prison for him.
Yeah.
But so nobody realizes why putting him this close to the giant electromagnet generator is a bad idea.
No, because after him and Bruce talk for a while,
they're starting to get,
and he has his fucking rant about the government and what they've done to humanity.
Well, and we start to see this, like, they think that Bruce is going to start getting heated. And what's funny is, like, when you're watching the moment, you're like, I don't think Bruce is getting mad.
He's more sad than anything.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, wow. my dad really is a crazy man, right? Like he's just having that realization.
He's just like, I
oh,
just
fuck.
want you to go. Just please
don't be
go,
a part of my life
right?
anymore. Go away. But yeah, right when this is all going down and the dad is going nuts, they're like, fuck it.
Hit him with the juice.
We're done with all of them. Because again, Bruce was going to get caught in the haywire.
He was going to get it anyway.
But they fucked up.
Because David's like, all right, fine, you want me to go? I'll go. He grabs the big wire right when they're about to hit the switch. Like a rat.
Chews the wire. Bites in. Takes the electricity.
Absorbs all of it.
Becomes a molecular
turns into lightning man.
Yes. And now we get our real fight.
Real boss fight.
This is and again, this is why we had this. Like, we needed a fight.
Yeah,
right?
we needed a fight. A super villain fight.
Because if not, it didn't need to be here.
No.
It doesn't really resolve a whole lot, but we see a fight.
It's awesome.
They duke it out. Oh, it's good. We see a couple of changes.
The flashing through the sky as the lightning, and we get like flashes
nice old school
of the Hulk getting his ass beat.
Yeah. We see him hit the rock and he loses control over his power again.
Yeah,
letting us know David definitely is still not like.
Yeah,
he's lucky that the first part worked, right? Because he doesn't know exactly how to do this. Because he got fused into the rock as a rock.
Yeah, he was kind of stuck. So Hulk grabs the whole thing and chucks it off into the water.
And then he remembers.
Oh yeah,
he remembers what his dad said to him, right? Something about drawing the power in. He said, "Oh, you want the power? You think you can handle, my power?
You want all this smoke?"
Which again, I feel like is a better thing to have been in a second or a third Hulk movie.
Yeah, probably.
Right? Like once we really understand that there's no limit,
and Hulk has probably like more control over his power.
Right now, it seems a little weird for us to see a dude that still doesn't really know how to do anything.
This is
I can project my energy into you. Like we've not seen him be able to know how to do something like that.
It seems like more of a Mark
Ruffalo's
Hulk finish.
He seems like he knows the control. Yeah,
he's especially because he's the one that's I'm always angry.
Yeah, I don't know, but it does solve the problem. He kills his dad. He overloads
blows
him
up like a giant balloon. Take it back.
Blows him up, but then Ross shows up with a missile. What is it?
It's a gamma bomb.
It's our first and only
honest to God
gamma bomb. We've seen lots of gamma explosions in this movie.
This one was designed as a bomb,
and it bombed.
It does.
That bomb done bombed.
Blows the shit out of him.
But literally, this is so crazy to me. We see Bruce okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just kind of chilling in the water.
Now, then they cut to Ross acting. Like, Ross didn't see that, and that's fine. But they play the scene to us as the viewer like we were supposed to get surprised.
Yep.
But we saw him alive. Why are we supposed to be surprised?
It's not like he was even like playing dead in the water.
Yes, no.
Eyes
we
open.
See him.
Just kind of looking around.
Fluttering eyes. Yeah, looking.
I'm okay.
He is naked. I will give him the gamma bomb did blow the clothing completely away.
Got rid of the magic shorts.
No even purple pants. Yeah, those are gone now.
The ripples kind of hide any of the...
But we cut to 1 year later, right? Like, and again, I want to say, we've already had one ending. This was two endings, right?
The second ending.
Because everything for the 1 year later would be a modern day MCU post-credit scene.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Mid-credits.
It'd be the thing that you're like sitting there waiting
to tie you into the next movie. Because all that this scene is setting up for us is that Ross believes he's dead. Betty doesn't. Ross thinks Betty knows more. Betty says she doesn't. And that she hopes she doesn't ever hear from him. Yep. If he is alive, he'd be better off to not be talking to me. And goddamn, that's the first and only thing she has said in this whole fucking movie I agree with, because she has been sick for him. She is the worst kind of, like, everything she has done, bad.
Yep, it's really bad.
But yeah, the conversation between the two of them is...
She's just like, my phone's bugged. Even if he did call me, you'd know it.
You're asking me like you don't already know the answer.
Yeah,
like
you just want to hear it from me?
Yeah.
That make you feel better? Because I don't know.
It was so strange, but it's just to set up for us, like, it is a mystery.
Oh, where is he?
Again, like, it's almost like the is he or isn't he? Even though we already know because they showed us.
Yep. He's fine.
The only thing we didn't know that this scene does set up for us is the where, right? The where he's been that they weren't able to know he's alive.
It's in like
South America. And we see him. He's saving people in the jungle, right?
Nice,
the rainforest.
Doing doctor things.
Again, he wasn't a doctor.
It's fine.
He was a computer programming
It's not
roboticist.
it's not medicine. It's the nanomeds in
I
the
hope
syringe.
so.
He's just
I hope
injecting
so.
these kids with nanomeds.
We see though that a drug cartel is trying to take over. They don't want nobody healing people.
Yeah, this village helps our enemies, so fuck you, man.
And then this is we said earlier we didn't get it. We don't get it in the movie. We don't get the angry line.
Don't make me angry.
You won't like me when I'm
angry.
And we weren't lying. We don't get it in the movie. You don't hear those words come out of anybody's mouth because we get it in Spanish.
And it's a subtitle. It's the best we get. But that's
the
how
only
movie
thing I can
ends.
say about this is I hope that means they use the exact lines that the Spanish version of the Incredible Hulk used, right? Like they didn't like retranslate it
into Spanish
from us to the
yeah.
Like they just literally used whatever was in the 70s dub over.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can hope.
I hope so too.
But all right, guys. That's it. There's no mid-credit scene. This is like we said. This would have been
that happened.
This would have been the mid-credit scene. One thing I think obviously we'll go ahead and address. Obviously, this episode's a little different than the Radio Flyer episode.
Yeah,
I think we both have agreed that this is maybe the best format for it. Radio Flyer was maybe a little too loose.
We were trying to avoid some.
We were trying to avoid
subjects.
The trap of getting scene by scene.
Yeah.
And when you kind of go with the flow of the movie, it's real easy to kind of maybe go back there. Like, obviously, we still are going through the movie, but we are definitely trying not to be, like, overanalyze.
This scene.
Yeah, overanalyze everything that's on the screen. We're trying to give you a lot more of who we are. Talking about the things that we think of when we see these things on the screen. What they remind us of. Other pop culture things, but again, we just for full clarity, we want to make sure people understand this is still just the trial period. So you might notice a little bit of back and forths of us trying to hammer out exactly how
we're
works.
Doing this. But it will all be shorter. That's all.
That's the key. The key is that they're not going to be 3 marathons for you to watch anymore.
Don't have to fucking grind through it, man.
Yeah.
We understand that was rough.
Yeah, and so we are trying to do better there, and we are definitely accomplishing it so far.
Yeah, I think so.
On that, we need to tell them what we thought about this beer.
I like it.
Gamma Bomb definitely packed a punch or packed an explosion. I'm trying to think of a good way to say it.
It was a gamma burst of IPA
it's
goodness.
A burst of good flavor.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Gamma Bomb bursting with something like that. It was good, guys.
Warped Wing Brewing Company. Go try
2 in a row now.
Yeah, 2 in a row.
They know what they're doing.
So
yeah, way to go with that Flyer Red. Way to go with this one. We'll be on the lookout for some more at this
probably,
point.
Yeah.
Once you hit 2 for us, and again, that was a complete accident. We're gonna
the hat trick.
Yeah, especially where this was a complete accident and it turned out they're both good. You gotta go back.
Yeah, you gotta
go see if we can go for one more. Right? Have to. I'll let you go ahead and hit them with the beer and movie for next week, since this is 100% like Bo wanted to do the Hulk, and I'll give him credit on that, but I also am a comic book person, so this is hardly like a all Bo. Next week is
this is mine
all
completely.
Bo. Yeah,
this is
through and through.
This is my literal Roman Empire. We're gonna be doing Languinitas Maximus. That's the beer, because we're gonna do fucking Gladiator. The Ridley Scott epic that you should all know. I shouldn't have to tell you to see this movie.
Yeah, if you've not seen it, definitely see it. Again,
especially since there's a sequel coming soon.
I wasn't trying to downplay the love for the movie. This is 100%. Like if you knew Bo's person, and you'll see, I'm sure there's no way he'll be able to hide it.
I get excited
Bo
about it.
Bo is very excited about the Roman Empire, and because of this movie is what spurned.
Yeah, it was. This is what started it, because I was like 6th grade when the movie came out.
So yeah, you guys, you'll see lots of excitement coming for us for sure. I'm almost from that
giddy,
but I think we're finished, man.
Are we good? Are we done? All right, cool. Hit the sad piano music. I'm gonna go try and catch a ride down this sad country road.
gamma explosions.